Chapter 22-28. Qin Yun turned into a tiny dot and was held in Xiao Yuemei's embrace. He stood on a branch of a huge tree, hidden in the dense foliage. He struggled slightly, trying to break free from Xiao Yuemei's embrace. He is a grand nine-sun palace king. Being hugged by a little girl is not comfortable at all. Wretched girl, quickly change me back to my original appearance. Qin Yun said with sound transmission. It's not convenient for me to hold a saber like this. Xiao Yuemei rubbed Qin Yun's little face a few times and then placed him on a branch. She made him grow a lot bigger, turning him into a 12 or 13-year-old youth. Even though he has turned into a youth, Xiao Yuemei still pinched his face. Qin Yun is speechless as he slapped away Xiao Yuemei's hand and said with sound transmission, Yuemei, those guys are nearby. Take a look at where they are, let's go take a look. Xiao Yuemei looked at her small mirror and discovered that there are many light dots gathered together. Her small mirror can sense the location of nearby spirit bodies. Over there. Xiao Yuemei pointed in a direction. Qin Yun immediately brought Xiao Yuemei to conceal themselves, then gently landed on the ground and went over from underground. Just now, there were many auras coming towards them, but they did not come over. Instead, they stopped not far away. They shouldn't be coming for us. Xiao Yuemei said with sound transmission. Brother, do you think the three races are together to discuss something? Divine Moon Race, Divine Sun Race and Nine Sun Heavenly Race are all strong races. If they want to secretly join forces, it is normal. This can prevent them from entering Blue Heavenly Universe and being ambushed by other strong races. I don't know, I feel that they must have secretly joined forces a long time ago. Qin Yun said, let's go and eavesdrop on them. Qin Yun brought Xiao Yuemei and walked underground for a while. Then, he passed through the roots of a large tree and entered the inside of the tree. Qin Yun controlled the divine tree totem. He can easily enter the tree and see the situation outside from inside. Xiao Yuemei has tree martial spirit she can also see. They are at the top of a huge tree and looking down at the flat ground. There are more than 10 people there. There are 3 divine moon race women. They are all wearing white clothes, their bodies are graceful and their faces are covered with white veils. The divine young race members were all dressed in golden armor. There were a total of 4 of them, an elder and 3 youths. The Nine Suns Heavenly Clan had the most people. There were 5 of them, 2 elders and 3 youths. They gathered here, holding a compass-like device in their hands, which could detect something. Just now we clearly sensed that there were people here. A lady from the Divine Moon tribe said doubtfully. We also sensed that there were people here. However, they suddenly disappeared. Could it be that they discovered us? The elder from the Nine Suns Heavenly Clan said. That was the breaking sun sky lightning tribulation just now. Who could trigger such a powerful lightning tribulation? The divine young race elder's expression was serious. Could something have escaped from the blue sky? Qin Yun and Xiao Yuemei looked at each other inside the tree. The great tribulation triggered by the world extermination spirit has indeed alarmed many people. The elder from the Nine Suns Heavenly Race suddenly took out 3 talismans and said, Let me take a closer look. There must be more people nearby. The 3 talismans suddenly floated up. Golden light flickered and rippled. The light rippled in all directions at an extremely fast speed. Not long after, the 3 talismans suddenly flew towards the tree where Qin Yun and Xiao Yuemei are. We have been discovered. Xiao Yuemei immediately sent voice transmission to Qin Yun. Brother, we will deceive them. You come, I will cooperate with you. Qin Yun said. Xiao Yuemei immediately brought Qin Yun out. Seeing that there are really people nearby, the 3 powerful races immediately became vigilant and prepared to fight at any time. However, they soon saw that there were people. The people who appeared were a lovely woman and a young boy who looked about 12 or 13 years old. Qin Yun has turned into a young boy. His appearance is handsome and his skin is white. He looks like a kid who is still wet behind the ears. Xiao Yuemei also looks like a very pure and innocent girl. She does not look like an evil person at all. When the divine moon race woman saw Xiao Yuemei, she felt that she looked somewhat familiar. She even sensed a trace of a special aura. 9 Sun Divine Lady? The divine Yang race elder said in shock. These powerful races can actually recognize that Xiao Yuemei is the 9 Sun Divine Lady. This caused Qin Yun to be very surprised. Xiao Yuemei's appearance is very beautiful and charming, but now she is very imposing. She said, I am from the Heavenly Moon Snow Palace. I am the Supreme Heavenly Moon Divine Lady. This is my little disciple, her name is Xiao Mao. My purpose for coming here is the same as everyone else. I was attracted here by the Great Tribulation just now. Heavenly Moon Snow Palace? Heavenly Moon Divine Lady? The Divine Moon Race Woman looked at Xiao Yuemei with frown. The other 2 powerful race elders also looked at each other in dismay, because they have never heard of this Heavenly Moon Snow Palace. Of course they have never heard of it because Xiao Yuemei made it up. Qin Yun is very unhappy. He does not like the name Xiao Mao. He immediately sent voice transmission to Xiao Yuemei to express his dissatisfaction. You are the 9 Sun Divine Lady? The Divine Moon Race Woman asked. Indeed, I am the big sister of the 9 Sun Divine Lady. Xiao Yuemei replied. This is not a lie. Heavenly Moon Snow Palace? Is this a sect? How come we have never heard of it? The 9 Sun Heavenly Race Elder has a doubtful expression. Heavenly Moon Snow Palace is the strongest sect in the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm, and the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm is located above the 9 heavens. It is normal that you have never heard of it, Xiao Yuemei said. Heavenly Moon Divine Realm? What is this place? The Divine Moon Race Woman is very interested because they feel that this might be related to the Divine Moon Race. It is the strongest realm above the 9 heavens, and this seat is also the strongest expert of the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm. What you are seeing is only 10% of this seat's strength, Xiao Yuemei said with a confident expression. Qin Yun really did not expect that Xiao Yuemei would not know how to restrain herself at all. Even if she is making things up, there must be a limit. People from powerful races have never heard of the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm, let alone the Heavenly Moon Snow Palace. Xiao Yuemei looked at the Divine Moon Race Woman and said, This seat can see from your aura that you are from the Divine Moon Race. This seat also heard that the mortal heaven's Divine Moon Race has some relationship with our Heavenly Moon Divine Realm. What kind of relationship? The Divine Moon Race Woman's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of surprise and curiosity as she promptly asked. It is a long story. The origin of the Divine Moon Race and the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm can be considered a branch of the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm. Xiao Yuemei replied with the attitude and tone of an expert. If it was someone else, these people from 3 powerful races would definitely think that Xiao Yuemei is making things up. However, Xiao Yuemei is the 9 Sun Divine Maiden, so they believe half of it. The Divine Sun Race Old Man asked, Then what do you think about the Great Tribulation just now? The Great Tribulation just now should have been caused by the birth of a heaven-defying strong spirit. The sun-breaking heavenly lightning tribulation mainly targets powerful spirit bodies. Xiao Yuemei said indifferently, If this seat is not wrong, that strong spirit was born because of the influence of the Blue Dragon Heavenly Universe. Senior, will that strong spirit be a threat to us? The Divine Moon Race Woman asked softly. Her attitude also became somewhat humble. Yes, if it was an evil spirit, it would definitely be very strong. But to this seat it is nothing, Xiao Yuemei said. At this moment, another powerful aura surged forth. It is the aura of the Divine Star Race. There are 2 people from the Divine Star Race, an old man and a young man. Their expression is filled with arrogance. After they arrived, they swept their eyes over everyone without the slightest scruple. That kind of expression is very rude. Who are you 2? The Divine Star Race Old Man looked at Qin Yun and Xiao Yuemei. What does it have to do with you who we are? Xiao Yuemei said with sneer. Soon after, the nine-sun heavenly race introduced Xiao Yuemei's identity to the divine star race. The two people from the divine star race can vaguely see that Xiao Yuemei is the nine-sun divine maiden, but they did not expect her to be some heavenly moon snow palace's heavenly moon divine concubine, and even come from some heavenly moon divine world. What bullshit heavenly moon divine world? I don't believe this kind of nonsense. A strong spirit was born here, it is a strong spirit born from heaven and earth, I can sense that it is here. The old man stared at Qin Yun. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. This divine star race old man can actually sense that the world extermination spirit is inside his body. Xiao Yuemei's expression became cold. She took out her small mirror and said in deep voice, "This is my disciple Xiao Mao, this is his first time coming to mortal heaven. He has never provoked anyone, what do you want to do to him? I can sense that the strong spirit is inside his body." The divine star race old man said with sneer, "That strong spirit was born from heaven and earth, it is very likely to be a star spirit, it should belong to our divine star race." The young man looked at Xiao Yuemei and said with sneer, "It is true that you are the nine-sun divine maiden, but you are just a little girl, what heavenly moon divine concubine? What heavenly moon divine world's strongest expert? This is simply bullshit, are you trying to fool a child? Shut your dog mouth." Xiao Yuemei's small mirror flickered with multicolored light and covered that young man's mouth. That young man's mouth suddenly turned into a dog's mouth, moreover, it is a toothless mouth. Seeing this scene, everyone is greatly shocked. Casually turning someone's mouth into a dog's mouth. This kind of technique is indeed very strong. The divine star race old man jumped in fright. He promptly released a barrier to defend himself. He is worried that he will also be turned into a ghostly thing. "Grandfather." That young man's appearance is very handsome, but now his black dog mouth has become very unsightly. He is both angry and terrified. Divine moon race, divine sun race and nine-sun heavenly race people now believe that heavenly moon divine concubine is truly formidable. They are also secretly shocked that the strong spirit is actually inside that young man's body. Chapter 22-29. The divine star old man's face is filled with anger. He released a very strong barrier and glared at Xiao Yuemei with eyes filled with malice. It seems like he is ready to attack at any moment. "She is nine-sun divine maiden, if you attack you must consider the consequences," the divine moon woman said. Everyone is very clear about the consequences of attacking nine-sun divine maiden. Up until now, all those who attacked nine-sun divine maiden have been severely punished. If someone from an ancient race attacked nine-sun divine maiden, the consequences would be even more severe. "Grandpa, what about me?" the divine star youth screamed miserably. Everyone wanted to laugh when they saw this, but they didn't. They are also very afraid in their hearts, because just a casual look from Xiao Yuemei's small mirror can make people grow a dog's mouth. This caused everyone present to want to protect their own mouth. They are afraid that Xiao Yuemei will act recklessly and turn them into dog's mouth. The divine star old man naturally knows that attacking nine-sun divine maiden will be very troublesome. However, he is also a ruthless person. He does not want to let this matter rest. A powerful divine power burst forth. The old man from the divine star race had made his move. It must be said that this divine star old man's strength is also very formidable. His body suddenly moved and arrived behind Xiao Yuemei in a flash. Then he took out a very large pouch and quickly covered Qin Yun. After the divine star old man covered Qin Yun, he quickly sealed the pouch and said with sneer, "Little girl, quickly heal my grandson, otherwise that brat is dead for sure." Xiao Yuemei immediately became furious. She wanted to attack, but she saw the pouch suddenly inflate. The divine star old man laughed loudly and said, "How can this little brat open my divine sealing pouch? Don't struggle, just obediently stay in there." Just as he finished speaking, a loud explosion occurred. The divine sealing pouch exploded. After Qin Yun jumped out, he quickly sent a palm attack towards the divine star old man's back. Qin Yun condensed a set of formidable runes and poured them into the old man's body through his palm. The divine star old man's expression greatly changed because he sensed an incomparably formidable and berserk divine power suddenly drilling into his body, causing him to be unable to move. This is Qin Yun's body securing rune. Yueme, kill him! Qin Yun suddenly moved to the side and sent sound transmission to Xiao Yueme. Xiao Yueme already wanted to take action. After she jumped over, she pointed the mirror in her hand at the old man and turned him into a bat. Then she released a fire. The bat was instantly ignited and burned to ashes. A sacred god of the divine star race had died just like that. The process didn't look very intense, but it was extremely frightening. This was because the old man had first turned into a bat before being burned to ashes. "Grandpa!" The young man with the dog mouth cried out in fear. "Go accompany him." Xiao Yueme pointed her mirror at the youth and turned him into a flying insect. Then, the mirror spewed out flames and set the flying insect on fire. The flying insect was too small and was burned into nothingness in an instant. This move made the scalps of the people from the other 3 powerful clans go numb. Qin Yun is also secretly astonished. A long time ago, Xiao Yueme's transformation technique required that person to cooperate with her and not be able to resist her power. But now, she can change people as she wishes. Qin Yun was turned into a fart-sized child by her earlier. He couldn't resist even if he wanted to. Xiao Yueme delicately groaned, looked at the people from the other 3 powerful clans and said, "You all saw it just now, this is the result of being my enemy. Just now we didn't see anything." An old man from the divine sun race said with a calm expression, "Senior, do you want to go to our divine moon race's large ship?" A woman from the divine moon race asked respectfully. "No need, I still have important matters to attend to. Just send my regards to Divine Moon Clan's Dijia. Back then when she was still a little girl, I met her once and even gave her pointers. It can be said that we met once by fate," Xiao Yueme said coldly. This caused the women from the Divine Moon race to be extremely shocked. When their clan emperor was a little girl, she actually received pointers from this heavenly moon divine concubine. Even the people from the Divine Sun race and the 9 Sun heavenly race felt an indescribable pressure. They found it hard to believe that the little girl in front of them is a powerful race's clan emperor. However, when they thought about how she casually turned people into flying insects and bats, they had no choice but to believe it. Divine Sun race, 9 Sun heavenly race, right? You don't know about me, but your clan emperor definitely knows. Go back and send my regards to them," Xiao Yueme said again. The people from the Divine Sun race and the 9 Sun heavenly race respectfully nodded their head. "Xiao Mao, let's go." Xiao Yueme pulled Qin Yun's hand. Qin Yun used transcending void step and directly pierced through space to leave. And the people from the other 3 powerful races all believe that this is Xiao Yueme's ability. Directly piercing through space to leave Divine Desolate is a very powerful ability. Because Divine Desolate is still growing and constantly developing space laws are constantly changing. There are very few people who can control space laws. Even if they can, it would be very difficult to pierce through space and leave at any time. Qin Yun and Xiao Yueme left that place and entered a cave. "Yueme, do you think they will really tell their clan emperor?" "If they go back and tell, you will be exposed," Qin Yun said with smile. "Brother, Heavenly Moon Divine World, Heavenly Moon Snow Palace, Heavenly Moon Divine Concubine, this is not something I made up, it really exists," Xiao Yueme said with charming smile. Qin Yun caressed her face and said with smile, "Little girl, back then you followed me to swindle people. Your cultivation is too shallow, don't think of swindling me. This seat is truly Heavenly Moon Divine Concubine, the #1 expert of Heavenly Moon Divine World, a female expert whose name shakes the 9 heavens. Xiao Yuemei crossed her arms in front of her chest and put on a very cool and imposing appearance. This delicate and charming Xiao Yuemei caused Qin Yun to be unable to restrain his laughter. He can't help but extend his hands to rub her face. "Little brat, I also want to pinch you." Xiao Yuemei giggled and rubbed Qin Yun's face. The two of them played around like this, making Qin Yun feel as if he has returned to his childhood. After Qin Yun turned into a young boy, he is shorter than Xiao Yuemei by a head. His appearance is also very handsome. Moreover, his face is very young and immature, very different from when he was an adult. However, people who are familiar with him can still recognize him from his expression. Qin Yun looked at the mirror and said with smile, "Yuemei, your transformation technique is becoming more and more awesome. Brother, the transformation technique I used on you is the time reversal transformation technique. I can't just randomly use it," Xiao Yuemei said. "Is it time manipulation?" Qin Yun said in amazement. My current time manipulation technique can only be reversed. My future prediction time is not very long, only about 1 or 2 breaths," Xiao Yuemei said with smile. "Then what other transformation technique do you have?" Qin Yun asked. "I can change into something I have seen before," Xiao Yuemei said. "Then can you change into other people?" Qin Yun curiously asked. "I can change, but the transformation is not very good. Who do you want me to change into?" "I will give it a try," Xiao Yuemei said with smile. "Let me think." Qin Yun thought for a bit and said with smile, "Change into Mengshu." Xiao Yuemei laughed loudly. White light suddenly appeared on her body and in the blink of an eye, she changed into Hong Mengshu's appearance. Although Hong Mengshu is petite and exquisite, she has a kind of cold and arrogant aura around her. Her beautiful oval face is very beautiful and moving. Xiao Yuemei is very similar to Hong Mengshu because she is very familiar with her. Qin Yun pinched her face and said with smile, "Your face is also different. It is not as good as yours, quickly change back." "Of course, my face is the best to pinch," Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile. Xiao Yuemei very quickly changed back to her original appearance. Qin Yun secretly sensed the situation of the world extermination spirit. The fusion has not been successful. This time the world extermination spirit is very strong. It will take some time to completely fuse with it. "Brother, I can sense that you have mastered a lot of inscription spirit. Do you think I can record them in my mirror?" Xiao Yuemei said while holding the mirror. "How about we give it a try?" Qin Yun said. "All right." Xiao Yuemei pointed the mirror at Qin Yun's head and began recording. Very soon, she recorded the Sun Emperor inscription spirit. However, it is only the Sun Emperor inscription spirit. She has not recorded the Heavenly Venerable inscription spirit. It should be because her current strength is not enough to record the Heavenly Venerable inscription spirit. Having the Sun Emperor inscription spirit is already very good. Qin Yun said with smile. "Does this mean that we can refine a Sun Emperor inscription spirit? Then let's give it a try." Xiao Yuemei is already very restless, she said with smile. Sun Emperor inscription spirit is very rare. If we can refine it, it will be very expensive and can be exchanged for a lot of delicious food. Qin Yun patted her head and said with smile. Sun Emperor inscription spirit can only be exchanged for food? Xiao Mao, you are my disciple. You are not allowed to touch Master's head. Xiao Yuemei suddenly said very earnestly. "I also want to touch your face," Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yuemei and Qin Yun began playing around again. After the two of them played enough, Xiao Yuemei said seriously, "Brother, let's start refining the Sun Emperor inscription spirit. This is a good thing. No, if we refine this thing, there might be even stronger heavenly tribulation that will descend and destroy us and the Sun Emperor inscription spirit." Qin Yun said solemnly, "We can't refine it now." "Alright." Xiao Yuemei smiled and said, "Then let's try it later." They were chatting in the cave when they suddenly felt a faint tremor. What's the situation? Qin Yun quickly walked out of the cave. There is a blue light shining down from the sky. That blue light is coming from the blue sky. Could it be that the entrance to the blue sky has opened? Xiao Yuemei shouted in alarm. Qin Yun pulled Xiao Yuemei and flew high up in the sky. The gigantic blue sky originally had a corner facing the ground, but at this moment, this cube was hovering in the air, facing the ground, releasing a dazzling blue light. It's really opened? Qin Yun said with a frown. Just as he was about to go over, a dragon roar came out and a huge blue dragon flew out from the direction of the blue light. That dragon is very powerful. Its body spewed out waves of powerful divine power, forming a blue gale that blew in all directions. Chapter 2230. Qin Yun looked at the blue dragon that suddenly ran out. He can feel the formidable divine universe power. This kind of dragon power and might is stronger than any divine universe dragon he met before. Brother, this divine universe heavenly dragon is very powerful. Luckily it is not savage, otherwise we would have been exterminated. Xiao Yuemei said. Qin Yun nodded his head. Although the divine universe heavenly dragon that ran out from the blue sky has a very powerful aura, it is not that kind of ferocious dragon. The divine universe heavenly dragon flew out from the blue sky, coiled around the huge blue square body, and let out a series of roars. It is unknown what he is doing. The elders of the powerful races around the blue sky are now looking at the blue sky. Seeing this powerful blue dragon, their hearts surged with emotion. They all recognized that this is the divine universe heavenly dragon. Moreover, they also know that the divine universe heavenly dragon back then was not very strong. Especially in the eyes of those powerful races, it could only be considered a beast pet. But now, the divine universe heavenly dragon has become so strong, it is very clear that he obtained the inheritance from beyond the heavens. While Qin Yun and Xiao Yuemei are looking at the blue sky, a burst of white mist suddenly floated over and then turned into an old man with a long beard that can reach the ground. Yun Long has arrived. Shopkeeper Yun Long, why did you come so late? Qin Yun is not surprised to see Yun Long previously. He used the Divine King Heavenly Seal to summon Yun Long many times. Yun Long looked at the formidable Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon and said with sigh, I heard that this divine universe heavenly dragon went to ancient desolate back then and was bullied unbearably. I didn't expect that he would become so powerful now. Xiao Yuemei saw that Yun Long's beard is very long and ran over to stroke it. Yun Long's beard is formed from clouds and mist, so it is impossible to stroke it. Then roughly when can we enter the blue sky? Qin Yun asked. Yun Long glanced at Xiao Yuemei and said with smile, Little girl, my beard is not fun. Xiao Yuemei also took out a very long cloud and mist beard and placed it on her chin. Then she very happily played with it. Yun Long looked at the blue sky and said, We should be able to enter now. However, I heard that if we want to smoothly enter the blue sky, we need a crystal card. Qin Yun took out his crystal card and said with smile, I have this thing. Let me see. Yun Long extended his hand to take it, but Qin Yun immediately put it away. There's nothing to see here. Qin Yun chuckled and said, Manager Yun Long, don't tell me you don't have this kind of crystal card in your Heavenly Dao pawn shop? Yun Long laughed heartily and said, Nine Yang Palace King, you have always been a generous person. There's nothing wrong with letting me take a look. I promise I won't take you. Shopkeeper Yun Long, don't cheat an honest person like me. Qin Yun could tell with a glance that Yun Long wanted to take away his crystal card. At this moment, Shenyu Tianlong suddenly said in a rough voice, The heavenly law universe has opened. Please enter in an orderly manner. Soon, a large group of people, as well as various large ships, flew towards the square from below. However, just as he approached, the Shenyu Sky Dragon's massive dragon tail swept down like a berserk heaven-splitting axe, bringing with it a violent gale and thunder. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, a series of explosions rang out. At least 10 giant ships had been destroyed, and the fate of a large group of powerful clans was unknown. This scene caused the hearts of those watching from afar to palpitate. Apart from Qin Yun and a few others, most of the people who have arrived here are from powerful clans. The people who rushed in like a swarm of bees just now are also from powerful clans. They thought they would be able to smoothly enter, but before they could even approach the entrance, they were attacked by Xinyu Tianlong. "So awesome!" Xiao Yuemei said in low voice. "Xinyu Tianlong, what are you doing?" A furious shout came from a star far away. "It is a Duke of Divine Star Race. Please enter the Heavenly Law Universe in an orderly manner. Since you can come here, how can you not know that you need to obtain qualifications to enter the Heavenly Law Universe? There are so many of you. Could it be that all of you have Heavenly Law Divine Card?" Xinyu Tianlong's cold and hoarse voice arrived. "I think you are abusing your position to avenge a private grudge." Divine Sword Race's Duke furiously yelled. Back then, Xinyu Tianlong was bullied by powerful clans in ancient Desolate and felt very sullen. And just now, Xinyu Tianlong only swung his dragon tail and heavily injured at least 2,000 people from powerful clans. If they say that Xinyu Tianlong is abusing his position to avenge a private grudge, it is indeed possible. A leisurely and pleasant voice came from Divine Moon Race's ship. "We all know that we need to use cards to enter the Heavenly Law Universe. It is just that some people are used to acting like tyrants, that's why they don't follow the rules." Most of the people who rushed in front were from Primal Chaos Race and Divine Star Race. There are also some from Divine Sword Race. Heavenly Devil God Race's Duke said with smile. "Although we are called Heavenly Devil God Race, we still follow the rules. We will go in first." A middle-aged man wearing black armor flew towards the blue Heavenly Law Universe along with dozens of people. They all have blue crystal cards in their hands and very smoothly entered the Heavenly Law Universe. Soon after, Divine Moon Race, Divine Sky Race, Nine Sun Heavenly Race, Divine Sun Race and other people flew in one after another. Qin Yun also saw Yu Huaxue, Xiao Yuelon and others enter the Heavenly Law Universe together. Among them, Xiao Yuelon, Luiyue Shuyan and Bing Xing do not have blue crystal cards. Qin Yun suddenly realized that they are all 9 Sun Divine Maidens. It is possible that they don't need them. "Brother, we should also quickly enter," Xiao Yuemei said. "I don't need crystal card to enter." Qin Yun looked at the crystal card in his hand and thought of Xie Wufeng and Divine Martial Judge. He said, "If we don't use crystal card, how can we enter?" "If we don't use crystal card, we can only think of a way to avoid Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon's attack and enter. If we succeed, we can enter," Xiao Yuemei said with smile. "Brother, don't tell me you want to give it a try." Yunlong suddenly said, "Nine Sun Palace King, how about this? You give me that crystal card and we will make an exchange." "What is there to exchange?" "I don't lack anything," Qin Yun said with smile. "I have Divine Universe Purple Dragon's Dragon Ball. Do you want to exchange?" Yunlong said with mischievous smile. "I know you are collecting 9 Divine Universe Dragon Balls. Divine Universe Purple Dragon?" Qin Yun suddenly narrowed his eyes and said, "Is this Dragon Ball very powerful?" Divine Universe Purple Dragon absorbed Divine Universe Purple Sun's power. It can be said to be a very powerful dragon. Dragon Ball is naturally not weak, Yunlong said with smile. "If you miss this opportunity, you won't be able to exchange for it in the future." Qin Yun's 9 altars formed the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. It is very strong, but it is not invincible. If he added 9 more Divine Universe Dragon Balls, it would be even more powerful. Even if those strong races used heavenly talismans, it would not be easy to stop the formation. Qin Yun considered for a moment and said, "All right, I will exchange." Soon after, Qin Yun pawned his crystal card and exchanged it for a Divine Universe Purple Dragon Ball. After Yun Long obtained the crystal card, he eagerly flew towards the blue heavenly universe. Brother, you should be able to pass through Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon's trial. Xiao Yueme also knows that Divine Universe Purple Dragon Ball is very important to Qin Yun, so she did not object. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile, "Of course. Not everyone in the powerful clans had crystal cards. Only a few people have them. In other words, if others want to enter, they must pass through Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon's trial. Majority of people who have crystal cards have already entered the blue heavenly universe. Now, there are also people who want to forcibly enter. Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon is indeed very powerful. He is coiling around the blue heavenly universe. Whenever he sees someone approaching the entrance, he will launch a very powerful attack. A few strong races' sacred deities have their skin and flesh lacerated by the formidable dragon power. They can only leave with serious injuries. There are also a few sacred deities who can forcibly charge through, but they are more or less injured. Yueme, you go in first. Qin Yun said. You go find Yuelon and the others first. I will take a look at the situation before going in. Alright. Xiao Yueme originally wanted to wait for Qin Yun to enter before following him. This way they can take care of each other. Indeed, Xiao Yueme very easily entered. She did not take out her crystal card. These 9 Sun Divine Maidens are truly enviable. Qin Yun sighed in his heart. He waited outside for a while and saw experts from strong races rushing over one after another. When the sky turned dark, Xie Wufeng and Divine Judge rushed over. Seeing them arrive, Qin Yun informed them of the situation here. After hearing, Divine Judge said, I will immediately notify the Myriad Realms Divine Court and let them spread the news. This way, even more people will know the location of the blue heavenly universe. When the time comes, everyone will have to rely on their own ability to enter. Qin Yun nodded. According to my observation, Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon has a sense of propriety. He won't kill anyone. The premise is that you have to go alone. If there are many people, his attacks will be very heavy. Then I will go first, Xie Wufeng said. Boss Xie, be very careful, Qin Yun warned. After Xie Wufeng flew over, he took out his origin sword. Originally, he wanted to use his sword to destroy Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon's thunder. However, Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon did not attack and instead let Xie Wufeng enter. Qin Yun is secretly amazed. Many strong races people recognize Xie Wufeng, this one-armed sword god. Seeing that he can enter without using crystal card, they all complained about how unfair it is. It's my turn. Divine Judge took out Myriad Heaven's divine punishment flags and quickly flew over. When he flew over, Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon did not attack. Isn't that the Divine Judge of the Myriad Realms Divine Court? Could it be that this is his privilege? Someone said with jealousy. Maybe Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon is asleep. Someone said and then immediately rushed over. Just as he approached the entrance, he was struck by a violent thunder and fell to the ground. This caused a group of people to be shocked and burst into laughter. Boss Xie and Divine Judge, why are they being treated specially? I wonder if I will be treated specially? Seeing that no one is going over, Qin Yun immediately flew over. He has been turned into a young boy by Xiao Yueme. Seeing a young boy fly over, everyone is extremely shocked. What caused people to be astonished is that when Qin Yun flew over, Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon's body suddenly exploded with violent thunder. His eyes suddenly turned purple and shot out 2 purple thunder. Soon after, a large area of violent blue thunder and lightning fell down. It is like a waterfall of thunder and completely enveloped Qin Yun. Chapter 2231. Qin Yun released the Sun Heavenly Shield and immediately blocked the Berserk attack. Sun Heavenly Shield is after all powered by Divine Cosmos Purple Sunday. Divine Cosmos Dragon's power is not as strong as Divine Cosmos Purple Sun's, so Qin Yun can easily block it. This guy, he looks scary but his power is only SOSO. Qin Yun has a rough understanding of Shenyu Tianlong's power. After blocking Shenyu Tianlong's attack, Qin Yun sped up and rushed towards the entrance. He wanted to enter the universe of heaven and earth. However, at this time, Shenyu Tianlong's voice appeared in Qin Yun's mind. Do you want my dragon pearl? If you want it, then don't go in. Qin Yun is startled. He promptly followed Shenyu Tianlong's mental fluctuation and asked, How can I obtain your dragon pearl? Obtaining Shenyu Tianlong's dragon pearl is naturally the best. If Shenyu Tianlong and the others find other dragon pearls, they will be more or less complete. Attack me, Shenyu Tianlong said. As long as you can break any one of my dragon scales, I will give you the dragon pearl. Break a dragon scale? Qin Yun thinks that he misheard because he feels that this is very easy for him. He looked at Shenyu Tianlong's dragon scales. Each one is very big, it looks like a small plaza. He feels that if he uses Myriad Heaven Divine Saber and 9 Veins Divine Power, breaking a dragon scale will be a piece of cake. You are not allowed to use any weapons, Shenyu Tianlong said again. You can only use your power to attack. If you can do that, then I will give the Divine Universe Sky Dragon Pearl to you. Shenyu Tianlong, why are you doing this? Do we know each other? Qin Yun asked. 9 Sun Palace King, we met once before. I learned from Brother Ice Dragon that you lack dragon pearls, so I will give you a chance. Shenyu Tianlong said. So they know each other, but Qin Yun is very unhappy. They clearly know each other, yet he gave him such a big greeting gift. If he can't block it, he will be beaten until he can't even take care of himself. Then will you attack me? Qin Yun asked again. Of course I will. You can't prove your strength. Why should I give you the dragon pearl? Shenyu Tianlong said. They are using mental power to communicate, others can't hear them. The people in the distance could only see Qin Yun hovering motionlessly in front of the entrance. While they were curious, they were also shocked, because this young man was actually able to survive just now and not be killed. If I were to take away your dragon pearl, would it affect you? Qin Yun said. If it would affect you greatly, then forget it. You are Ice Dragon's big brother after all. I can't let you suffer such a huge loss. It won't affect me. With my current cultivation level, the Dragon Balls are dispensable. Moreover, I can cultivate them again in the future. Shenyu Tianlong said. 9 Yang Palace King, if you obtain my Dragon Pearl and enter the Heaven Law Universe, it will be much more convenient. Qin Yun was even more tempted when he heard that. The Heavenly Law Universe was definitely very, very big, and there might even be other people inside. As for the Divine Universe Sky Dragon Pearl, it was highly likely that it was a form of identification. If he could obtain the Divine Universe Sky Dragon Pearl and enter the universe of heaven and earth, he might be able to obtain a better inheritance. Qin Yun thought for a moment and agreed. He said, What if I can't break a single one of your dragon scales? Then not only you won't be able to obtain my dragon pearl, you won't even be able to enter the universe of heaven. Shenyu Tianlong said with smile. Don't worry, I will definitely be able to take away your dragon pearl. Qin Yun is very confident and asked again, Can I use something to defend? You can't. You just used a tool to defend, you can't use it again. Shenyu Tianlong replied. Without using 9 Sun Divine Souls Sun Heavenly Shield, it will be very difficult to block Shenyu Tianlong's attack. Therefore, he must be even more careful and absolutely cannot be hit. Although the difficulty is high, Qin Yun has already decided to agree to Shenyu Tianlong's request. This is a chance to obtain the Divine Universe Sky Dragon Pearl. He cannot miss it. Alright, Qin Yun said. Just as he agreed, Shenyu Tianlong's huge dragon tail swept over like lightning. Qin Yun cursed in his heart. He promptly used space crossing step and used spatial teleportation to dodge and arrived high up in the sky. Shen Yu Tianlong is extremely bewildered in his heart because it is very difficult to use spatial power to teleport inside Heavenly Divine Desolate. Qin Yun stored a lot of Little Ant Queen's spatial power inside his nether sun, so he can now also use spatial power. Naturally, Shen Yu Tianlong doesn't know about this, otherwise he would think that Qin Yun is cheating. Shen Yu Tianlong's body is very big, but his reaction is not slow at all. He is also very nimble. Just as Qin Yun arrived above Shen Yu Tianlong, he sensed a very strong power fluctuation attacking him. It is a dragon claw grabbing at him. That huge dragon claw can easily crush 100,000 zhang tall mountain. It is bringing along a violent blue lightning waterfall. It arrived as fast as lightning. Its imposing manner is very dreadful. Those experts in the distance repeatedly exclaimed in admiration because they did not expect that there would be someone fighting against the formidable Shen Yu Tianlong. Moreover, it is a very young boy. Qin Yun is also here for the Divine Universe Sky Dragon Pearl, otherwise he would have already entered the universe of heaven. Too slow. Qin Yun dodged Shen Yu Tianlong's attack in a short while. Qin Yun is very nimble. He can use transcending void step to cross space. There is no way to deal with him. It must be known that just now Shen Yu Tianlong's claw attack caused space ripples to appear. It was to prevent Qin Yun from crossing space. Qin Yun is using spatial divine power from the Little Ant Queen, this kind of mystical creature, so he is not afraid of being blocked. Let's see how you break my dragon scales. Shen Yu Tianlong's blue dragon scales suddenly trembled and a burst of energy appeared. This energy barrier is very thick, moreover it has condensed into a transparent crystal. This is body-protecting dragon handle barrier? Qin Yun is startled in his heart. Shen Yu Tianlong has already given up on attacking Qin Yun because he can't hit Qin Yun, who is on guard. Qin Yun deeply inhaled a mouthful of air and said in his heart, I will let you experience my 9-sun world extermination scripture. He has already more or less fused with the world extermination spirit. Now he has also comprehended one of the 3 tribulations of 9-sun world extermination scripture. Suddenly a huge purple-gold light ball appeared in the sky. It looks like a small sun. It is flickering and spewing raging flames. A mighty heavenly might suddenly surged out. 9 huge dragons appeared around the small purple-gold sun. They revolved around the purple-gold sun and roared. Those dragon roars are filled with formidable dragon might. They are accompanied by heavenly might as they attacked the heaven and earth. An energy wave filled with destruction aura surged and churned violently within the heaven and earth. Along with heavenly might's momentum, it blew and roared in all direction. This is 9 Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation? A powerful race member shouted in alarm. What's going on? Isn't this heavenly punishment Great Tribulation? Sun-breaking heavenly lightning tribulation appeared before. Why is there another 9 Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation now? These heavenly punishment Great Tribulation caused all the powerful race members to be endlessly horrified. They immediately hid far away, afraid that they would be affected. This 9 Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation is precisely Qin Yun's doing. One of the 3 tribulations of 9-sun world extermination scripture. He experienced this 9 Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation before, that's why he can use it so quickly. Boom boom boom. 9 dragons roared, accompanied by the purple-gold sun attack. That heaven and earth extermination aura caused even Shen Yu Tianlong to feel fear. Those powerful race members who were bombarded by Shen Yu Tianlong to the point of crying for their parents are now incomparably shocked. Because they can all see that the 9 Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation was released by that young boy. That young boy is actually attacking Shen Yu Tianlong. Who exactly is this divine being? He can use the 9 Dragon Brilliant Sun Tribulation and even dares to fight Shen Yu Tianlong. This is an incredible character. Shin Yu Tianlong's huge body was attacked by the purple-gold small sun. The power of destruction erupted, burning with gold-red and black tricolored flames. Below the blue heavenly dome, a sea of fire suddenly appeared within several thousand li radius, instantly transforming into a sea of lava. This kind of scene is like the sun destroying the world. The fierce and arrogant destruction heavenly might is still surging, accompanied by the roar of the fire waves. Several dragon scales on Shin Yu Tianlong's body have cracked and are burning with purple-gold flames. Although he was hit, he doesn't seem to have suffered any serious injuries. Qin Yun let out a long sigh and sent voice transmission to Shin Yu Tianlong. I did it, you won't act shamelessly, right? Shin Yu Tianlong looked at Qin Yun, opened his mouth and condensed a frantic dragon might. Everyone immediately felt that the young boy is finished. He will be blown to pieces by Shin Yu Tianlong's thunder. Shin Yu Tianlong's mouth shot out a lightning, but it is very small. Qin Yun can see that inside the lightning there is a pearl. It is the Divine Universe Sky Dragon Pearl. Qin Yun arrived in a flash, grabbed the Divine Universe Sky Dragon Pearl, and put it away. You have mastered 9 Sun World Extermination Scripture. I hope you can properly use it. Shin Yu Tianlong said, I wish you good luck. Heavenly Dragon, what do I need to pay attention to inside the Heavenly Law Universe? Qin Yun asked. Don't provoke the Heavenly Law Pavilion. Of course, if they provoke you first, then don't be polite. No matter where you go, strength speaks. You possess formidable strength, everyone will submit to you. Shin Yu Tianlong said. Alright. Many thanks for your dragon pearl. Qin Yun is truly grateful. You are welcome. Although we only met once, you have indirectly changed my fate. Perhaps I should thank you. Quickly go in. Shin Yu Tianlong said. Qin Yun's heart is filled with doubt as he flew into the Heavenly Law Universe. Those experts are all dumbfounded. That young boy attacked Shin Yu Tianlong and destroyed several dragon scales, yet nothing happened to him. Moreover, he is still leisurely flying into the Heavenly Law Universe. After Qin Yun passed through the entrance, he sensed that he is inside the water. He quickly floated up and discovered that he is inside a boundless ocean. Chapter 2232. Qin Yun floated on the seawater and wanted to fly into the sky. However, before he could fly very high, he was suppressed by a force, preventing him from flying too high. At this moment, he could only fly a few meters above the surface of the sea. Moreover, as he flew, he encountered a strong resistance, causing him to be unable to increase his speed. What kind of power is restraining him? Qin Yun raised his head to look at the vast river of stars in the blue sky. He discovered that the river of stars was most likely formed from runes. Just how many inscriptions were needed to form such a shocking and majestic galaxy? Qin Yun sighed inwardly. In order to speed up his journey, he could only return to the sea and take out the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. The Heaven Leaping Shuttle was a gourd. Although it couldn't fly, it could float on the surface of the sea. The little Ant Queen's spatial divine power should be able to be used. I don't have much left, so I need to use it sparingly. Qin Yun had previously used quite a number of spatial divine power beads. The little Ant Queen could absorb the Divine Universe Purple Sun's energy from the 9 Yang Divine Soul, but her speed was limited. She needed a certain amount of time to condense it. After entering this Heavenly Law Universe, it is very likely that he will face unknown dangers. Therefore, Qin Yun wants to keep those spatial divine power beads and use them in a more dangerous situation. Qin Yun injected a large amount of solar flame liquid into the Heavenly Leaping Shuttle. The sun flame liquid burned and spewed out a strong stream of air. It was spat out through the mouth of the gourd, allowing the Heaven Leaping Shuttle, a white gourd, to move quickly in the sea. This speed is not bad, it's about the same as me flying in the air. Qin Yun sat in the main control room and looked ahead. He took out a few soul-chasing talismans. They are for Xiao Yuemei and the others. Then there are Xie Wufeng's talismans. Boss Xie is in another direction. Yuemei did not go to find Yuelon. Qin Yun looked at the direction pointed by the soul-chasing talisman and muttered. He previously told Xiao Yuemei to go in to find Xiao Yuelon and the others, but this little girl is not with Xiao Yuelon. Yuelon and the others are with the Divine Moon Clan. I don't need to worry about them. Where did that wild girl Yuemei go? Qin Yun decided to find Xiao Yuemei first to prevent her from causing trouble in this heavenly law universe. The heaven-leaping shuttle spewed out flames, allowing the heaven-leaping shuttle to move very fast, but at the same time, it would also release a very powerful aura. Qin Yun couldn't care less. He just wanted to leave the ocean as soon as possible. Although I came in later, the time between me and them is not very long. Qin Yun looked at the soul-chasing talisman and felt somewhat depressed, because he feels that he is very far away from Xiao Yuemei. Could it be that everyone's position is different when they enter? Ling Yuner said, if that's the case, then it's not that Yuemei didn't go to find Yulan, it's just that the distance is too far. Maybe so. But why are Yuelon, Sister Shuyan and Sister Bingxing together? Qin Yun said doubtfully. They entered at about the same time. Ling Yuner said with smile, Xiao Yun, don't worry about Yuemei. This little girl is very naughty, nothing will happen to her. It's because she's too naughty, that's why I'm worried. Qin Yun held the soul-chasing talisman and waited patiently. Maybe she is also very worried about you. Ling Yuner smiled tenderly and said, because you are also very naughty. Qin Yun looked at the majestic star river in the sky and said with sigh, this heavenly law universe's inheritance from beyond the heavens is very powerful. It won't be easy to obtain it. Xiao Yun, the clan emperors of those powerful races have not come, even the kings have not come. Only the dukes have come. Ling Yun said. As for the specific reason, I will have to ask Yuelon and the others. Qin Yun now only dares to contact Divine Moon Race people. Although he knows people from Nine Sun Heavenly Race and Heavenly Devil God Race, he doesn't want them to know that he has entered Heavenly Law Universe. If they leak out information, they might do something detrimental to him. It must be known that Qin Yun is the enemy of Primal Chaos Race, Divine Sword Race and Divine Star Race. Before Qin Yun understands the situation of this heavenly law universe, he doesn't want to fight with them. What a pity, Divine Moon Race's clan emperor did not come in. If he came in, he would have flirted with her and made her help you fuse with Divine Moon Bloodline Divine Origin. Ling Yuner giggled and said, Divine Moon Race's clan emperor is also a great beauty. Yuelon told me about this. Don't forget that Yuelon is a female rogue just like you. Who knows if she is lying to me to make me go conquer Divine Moon Race's clan emperor? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, if Yuelon wants to make a move against Divine Moon Race's clan emperor, she should go herself. Ling Yuner said with charming smile. If it was me, I wouldn't tell you, I would go and flirt with Divine Moon Race's emperor myself. Qin Yun said with confident smile. That's because Yuelon doesn't have the confidence to take down Divine Moon Race's emperor, so she wants to trick me. If this palace king personally takes action, there won't be any problem. Bullshit. Ling Yuner said with smile. Don't think of provoking me to take down Divine Moon Race's emperor. This palace king is a peerlessly honest person, I won't deceive other people's feelings. Qin Yun laughed and said. The heaven-leaping shuttle sped through the sea, the mouth of the gourd spewed out a long flame. In the night it looks like a meteor streaking across the pitch-black water. Nighttime, Qin Yun can see the heavenly divine moon. Inside the heavenly law universe, the heavenly divine moon is the same as the one outside, they are all very huge. The only difference is that the stars inside the heavenly law universe are different from the stars inside the heavenly law universe. At night, the star river in the sky is even more spectacular. In the boundless night, There are several bright and resplendent Star River passing through. Moreover, it can be seen that the Star River is flowing. Some Star River is silver, some are gold, some are blue. From time to time, there are also huge stars flickering with light inside the Star River. Qin Yun is inside the heaven-leaping shuttle, looking at the spectacular and beautiful Star River. He suddenly has a strong desire to fly inside and roam. However, it is very difficult to fly inside the heavenly law universe, and it is unknown how far the Star River is. Wanting to go to those Star River is definitely very difficult. How do I obtain the inheritance from beyond the heavens? Qin Yun only knows that the heavenly punishment inheritance is some kind of heavenly law divine rune. It is definitely an even more powerful rune that can allow people to obtain even more formidable power. The sky slightly brightened, one big and one small myriad worlds divine sun rose up. It is as if the entire ocean has been dyed bright and dazzling. Qin Yun has been rushing through the night. At daybreak, he saw a small island. This small island is rather special, it is round and completely white, it is slowly moving. Finally found something. Qin Yun is very excited. He immediately slowed down and took out the soul-chasing talisman to check. Xiao Yueme is still very far away, it means that she is not on that strange island. The small island is several thousand meters wide, it is moving very slowly and is not emitting any aura. After approaching, Qin Yun can see that there are several 100-meter tall transparent crystal pillars erected at the edge of the round island. Formation pillar, crystal pillar? Qin Yun immediately opened his heavenly eye and looked at those crystal pillars from far away. The crystal pillars are transparent, no runes can be seen on them, but they are made into very strong formation pillars. Could it be that they are all dark runes? Qin Yun is becoming more and more alarmed. After approaching, he can feel that the island's formation is very strong, so he can't sense any aura at all. Crystal pillars are very rare. When making formation pillars, if they are all dark runes, not only will it be very difficult, it will also limit the speed at which the runes can absorb energy. Usually, it is half dark runes and half bright runes. This way, it will be more balanced. Qin Yun is also unable to see the dark runes through his heavenly eye. He quickly released Momo. After the cute little fairy Momo came out, she very seriously looked at the crystal pillar in the distance. Big brother, it might be too far, I can't see anything but I can feel that the runes are very, very strong. Momo is also somewhat excited because she has recorded enough runes to make her stronger. Then wait for me to get closer, then I'll let you come out and take a look. Qin Yun stroked Momo's long hair with his finger. All right. Momo tenderly smiled and then was placed back into the Nine Sun Divine Spirit by Qin Yun. After approaching the small island, Qin Yun stored the heaven-leaping shuttle and stealthily swam towards the small island. He originally thought that he would have to hide, but not long after he approached, a few people suddenly flew out from the small island. Those people are all wearing white armor and the spears in their hands are all made of transparent crystal. They are all wearing a mask made of transparent crystal. Through the mask, one can see that most of them are young people. Only the leader is a middle-aged man. This should be a patrol squad. Could it be that I've been discovered? Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. Just as he was about to dive into the water, the middle-aged captain of the patrol squad waved his hand and shot out a talisman. The talisman shot towards Qin Yun like a ray of light. When it hit, it turned into a net that enveloped Qin Yun. Talisman tool. A very powerful talisman tool. After Qin Yun was trapped, he is extremely alarmed. The talisman tool still has a soul body and consciousness. If it sensed that he was resisting intensely, it would release a very strong electric current to hit him. Qin Yun only needed to resist a little before he could feel a strong electric current. It's not difficult for me to break free, but it will arouse their disgust. Qin Yun is secretly rejoicing that Xiao Yueme turned him into a young boy. This way, people will be less vigilant. Greetings, big brothers. I am from Divine Desolate. Qin Yun promptly said. I have no malice. He can also see that the patrol squad is not very aggressive. They only captured him, otherwise they would have directly killed him. Where is your family's adults? The patrol captain asked. I came in by myself. Qin Yun replied. I really have no malice. He only has divine power of profound God. He is not even a great god, yet he can come in? Shen Yu Tianlong is guarding the door. He should not have let people with this kind of cultivation in, it will only kill them. A young man said. I was lucky, I passed through Shen Yu Tianlong's trial. Qin Yun saw that these people's attitude is not bad and felt a lot more relieved. The middle-aged man waved his hand and stored the net. The net once again turned into a talisman and returned to the middle-aged captain's hand. Chapter 2233. Qin Yun was brought to the small white island. The people here are rather polite. They know that he came from the Divine Desolate. They are only curious about the Divine Desolate situation and asked a few questions. After a simple chat, Qin Yun found out that this blue sky should be considered a super-huge ship. They call this ship the Arkansas. The blue sky is very mysterious and strange. There is a continent inside, it is called the Heavenly Law Universe. As for who built the blue sky, no one knows. They only know that when this blue sky roams, it will pass through many huge god realms similar to the Divine Desolate. There are a total of 6 star rivers in the sky. Those star rivers are taken from different heavens by the blue sky, meaning that it passes through 6 heavens. When passing through these 6 heavens, it attracted many people. Some people don't want to go out after entering the Heavenly Law Universe. They plan to stay here and follow the blue sky to other heavens. People inside the Heavenly Law Universe are not allowed to go to other heavens. And what they need to do in the Heavenly Law Universe is to study and comprehend the rune laws of the Heavenly Law Universe. From there, they can master even stronger runes and constantly break through their own limit. The people on the White Island that Qin Yun is on are all from the White Sun Divine World. Their White Sun Divine World is also a combination of many spaces. They have a huge White Divine Sunday. According to their description, it is more than 10 times bigger than the current Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. Qin Yun looked at the Myriad Realms Divine Sun in the sky and imagined it according to their description. He can't help but exclaim in surprise. It can be seen that Bai Yang is truly powerful. Qin Yun followed the patrol team back and was left on the island. They told Qin Yun not to cause any trouble. He can explore the island alone and with his strength, he can survive. These people are pretty good. Qin Yun walked on the island and entered a market. This place is similar to the market where humans gather in the Divine Desolate. There is no difference. The only difference is the architectural style and the style of dressing. The people here are from the White Sun Divine World. Therefore, their clothing is mainly white. The architectural style is also mostly white. Many people dyed their hair white or made their eyebrows and nails white. Therefore, when Qin Yun walked on the street, he often saw many people dressed in white. This island was also called the White Sun Island. According to the captain, the people of the White Sun Sacred World had been here for 3,000 years, and their population had grown to millions. White Sun Island was only one of the gathering places, and there were very few people gathered there. Most of them were on land. The people of White Sun Island had another special characteristic. Most of the men had very long, straight hair that reached their waists and were dyed white. There were also black-haired people here, but there were only 3 out of 10 people. Therefore, a black-haired youth like Qin Yun did not seem out of place. This is probably the custom of different places. Qin Yun was not surprised by this. There were people from all over the world gathered in the divine wilderness. Some people even had different skin colors. There were also people with strange shapes and sizes. People like White Sun Island were much more normal than most of the weirdos in Deity Desolate. White Sun Island only had a few tens of thousands of people. It was the gathering place with the least number of people in the White Sun sacred world. The main reason is because White Sun Island is floating in the ocean. Its purpose is to research and explore this ocean, because this ocean hides many secrets and many mysterious sea beasts. The sea beasts in the ocean are very strange. They have runes on their bodies, and those runes are the focus of their research. While walking on the street, Qin Yun took out Xiao Yuemei's soul-chasing talisman and looked at it. He discovered that the direction the island is floating in is the same direction as Xiao Yuemei. Therefore, he felt relieved and stayed on the island. The captain of the patrol team also said that because White Sun Island was maintaining the Great Formation, it became very slow. After the maintenance, White Sun Island's speed became very fast. Qin Yun is very interested in the dark runes inside the Crystal Formation Pillar. Moreover, there is no one guarding the Crystal Formation Pillar. In this place, no one dares to destroy the Crystal Formation Pillar. The consequences of destroying the Crystal Formation Pillar are very serious. Furthermore, the Crystal Formation Pillar itself has very strong defensive power. It is extremely difficult to destroy it. Before it is destroyed, it might cause a great commotion. Qin Yun strolled around the block before coming to the bottom of a crystal pillar. He reached out his hand and touched the Crystal Formation Pillar. He can feel a very strong energy fluctuation. This Crystal Formation Pillar itself is a very strong energy crystal. Furthermore, it can constantly absorb the energy of heaven and earth. Qin Yun said in his heart, "Right now, it is absorbing a very strong myriad realms divine sun divine power to maintain the operation of the Great Formation. The advantage of doing this is that there is no need to replenish energy." Ling Yun'er said, "The people of the White Sun Divine World have really good materials. This kind of energy crystal must be very precious, but they have a lot of it. They even made such a huge Crystal Formation Pillar." Qin Yun let Emo come out and placed her under his collar. He let her poke out her small head to look at the dark runes inside the Crystal Formation Pillar. The Crystal Formation Pillar is so huge, there must be a lot of dark runes inside. It is not realistic to record them all. Qin Yun only let Emo see if there are any dark runes inside. Moreover, he recorded a very small part for him to study. Emomo's progress is very smooth. She can see the dark runes inside. She only recorded a part of it and then transmitted it to Qin Yun through her mental power. In Qin Yun's mind, a small part of the runes also immediately appeared. After he let Emo return to the Nine Sun Divine Soul, he sat down on the spot and closed his eyes to carefully study the small part of the runes. Qin Yun extracted a small part of it and then used the method of inscription battle technique to carve it in the air. Although it is not a complete rune, it can still display a strange ability. These runes are very special. They should be God-level runes. The difference between them and the Divine Desolate is that these runes have a kind of regeneration power and a very strong memory. Qin Yun tried to destroy a little of the runes he carved. After destroying a little, they immediately regenerated. Then he used his powerful mental power to bend and disturb the runes. However, the runes quickly recovered by themselves. In that case, those runes have spirituality? Ling Yun'er said, "But you were the one who carved them. Why is it like this?" "I suspect that those runes are operating according to a kind of law that we can't see. They are affected by the power of that law, which is why they have such a reaction." Qin Yun also felt that it is very magical. The strength of this kind of rune is that it is difficult to destroy. It must be known that all the runes he has mastered now, if they encounter a powerful attack, they will be easily destroyed, and then the entire set of runes will become ineffective. Therefore, those who want to carve powerful runes need to have sufficient protection. During battle, they also need to be careful at all times to prevent the runes inside the divine tools and divine weapons from being destroyed. Once they are destroyed, their power will be greatly reduced. In serious cases, they can even lose all their abilities. Qin Yun thought about it carefully and his expression suddenly turned grave. He said with worry, "The runes of the inheritance from beyond the heavens are very brilliant. In that case, they will have more ways to deal with my nine-dragon heavenly origin formation." He immediately realized that the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation would face even more threats, so he needed to master more of these heavenly law divine runes. Heavenly law divine runes operate based on the unknown and mysterious heavenly law. They can have even stronger energy and be even more tenacious and difficult to destroy. Only by mastering more heavenly law divine runes would Qin Yun be able to improve the runes needed by the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. This way, he would be able to upgrade the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. Qin Yun sat beside the crystal pillar for an entire day. He mainly wanted to sense the changes in the runes inside the crystal pillar and gain a deeper understanding of them. After he sat for an entire day, an old granny walked over. The old granny has straight white hair and her face is only slightly wrinkled. Her plump face made her look like jade and she doesn't look that old. She is wearing a white robe, which is a very typical attire of people from the White Sun divine realm. The only difference is that the white robe on her body is engraved with silver-white runes. When Qin Yun saw those runes, he is secretly alarmed because those runes are a type of heavenly law divine rune. This old granny is an inscription master. She came to the side of the pillar and when she saw Qin Yun, she smiled kindly at him. Then, she pressed her hand on the pillar and sent a ray of white light into it. Qin Yun immediately sensed a very strong power of the blood soul spreading out. This old granny is inspecting the crystal pillar. Logically speaking, the heavenly law divine runes inside the crystal pillar have a very strong self-healing ability and are extremely tough. They do not need to be inspected and maintained. By doing so, it meant that this kind of heavenly law divine rune had other flaws. Mo said that the dark runes she saw were not Dao Yin runes. Could it be that heavenly law divine runes are unable to undergo Dao Yin? Qin Yun is puzzled. The runes that underwent Dao Yin would flow and change, releasing even stronger power. The weakness was that once it was damaged, it would be very difficult to repair. "Granny, what are you doing?" Qin Yun asked curiously. He has the appearance of a young man and he is very handsome. Therefore, from his appearance, he gives off a very good impression. The old granny said with a smile, "I'm checking the runes to see if they are still there." Runes can run? Qin Yun said in surprise. These heavenly law divine runes can run. Every once in a while, we need to appease them and not let them run away. The old granny said with a smile. "Why do they run?" Qin Yun asked. The old granny also patiently replied, "Because they can grow on their own. When they grow to a certain stage, they will have a higher goal. They want to cultivate independently and then go through heavenly tribulation. In the end, they can become humans or beasts." Inscription transformation. Qin Yun is not surprised. The inscription beast from before was formed from inscription, but that was a very rare situation. And these heavenly law divine runes turning into life seemed to happen from time to time. It could also be said that it was very common. This is a very big discovery for Qin Yun. Chapter 2234. Giant Sea Beast? How big must it be to cause such a commotion in the White Sun Island? Qin Yun said in astonishment and then looked at the sea. The White Sun Island is still trembling, but the people on the island are relatively calm. Clearly, they are already used to this kind of thing. The old granny looked at the sea and said, "It might not be a giant sea beast." Not a giant sea beast? Then why can it cause such a huge commotion? Qin Yun also saw several patrol teams rushing towards the sea. Those patrol teams all have the ability to fly at low altitude. Although they can't maintain it for long, they can still go forward to investigate the situation in a short period of time. A few patrol teams have tools in their hand. After they take those tools and investigate the situation, they immediately return to the White Sun Island. At this moment, Qin Yun also saw the crystal pillars suddenly flicker with white light. The most powerful formation protecting the White Sun Island suddenly activated. After the patrol team returned, they immediately rushed to the center of the island. "Granny, where are they going?" Qin Yun asked. "The White Sun Island is still trembling slightly. They will report the situation to the island master, and let the island master arrange for people to go out and fight." The old granny rubbed Qin Yun's head and said, "Little guy, did you just come to the White Sun Island?" Qin Yun nodded and said, "I just came here not long ago. I came from the heavenly divine desolate." "You came here to learn?" the old granny said in surprise. "I want to learn the heavenly spell divine runes. Granny, can you teach me?" Qin Yun feels that this old granny is a very good person and her inscription level is also very high. This is mainly because he saw that the old granny's blood soul power is very strong, so he was able to determine that. "I can, but you need to have talent in this area." The old granny hesitated and said, "Little guy, what's your name?" "Qin Yun." Qin Yun replied, "I am also an inscription master. I have the foundation of an inscription master. I never accept disciples, but I can teach you some heavenly spell divine runes. I am Granny Tang, follow me from now on." Granny Tang said with smile, "Whether you can learn it or not is your own business." "Thank you, Granny," Qin Yun said happily. At this moment, more than 100 people wearing white battle armor and transparent crystal helmets rushed out holding large crystal sabers. They exited from one of the White Sun Island's exits. Each of them stepped on a small crystal boat and quickly sailed forward. "Granny, are they also going to capture sea beasts?" Qin Yun asked. That sea beast took the initiative to attack the White Sun Island. It definitely wants to destroy the White Sun Island. We need to intimidate the sea beast. If we can capture it, that would be the best. We can learn the heavenly divine runes from the sea beast," Granny Tang said. Hundreds of powerful warriors were riding on small boats as they sailed through the sea. They were not afraid of the powerful beasts hidden in the sea at all. White Sun Island kept trembling. This left Qin Yun rather puzzled. This was because it did not seem like the island had been struck. Instead, it was constantly trembling from a powerful force. "Grandma, what are those transparent crystals made of?" Qin Yun asked. "They look very powerful." "Those are the materials we obtained after the crystal divine sun shattered," Granny Tang said. "Most of the powerful materials come from divine sun, divine star and divine moon. So that's how it is." Qin Yun could tell that the crystals contained a very strong energy. Furthermore, they were very sturdy. Divine star is definitely the most abundant. Then, are the materials inside the divine star the weakest? Qin Yun asked. Although he had traveled to many heavenly domains, he had never seen the best materials inside the divine star. In some powerful stars there were also divine universe golden stones. As for powerful materials, they were relatively rare. The materials inside the divine star are also very strong. That's not necessarily the case. Granny Tang kept looking at the 100 warriors on the sea. Qin Yun also looked over and asked, "Is that sea beast about to come out? How big is it?" "It might not be a giant sea beast. If it was a giant sea beast, it might have already overturned the White Sun Island. It was just a false alarm," Granny Tang said. "That sea beast can release a vibration power, that's why it can cause the White Sun Island to tremble." Walala! A huge wave suddenly rose up on the sea. In the blink of an eye, the 100 warriors were covered by the huge wave. These warriors are all very experienced. Very quickly, they broke through the huge wave and continued to fly steadily on the sea. The small crystal boats under their feet are clearly very strong divine tools. Roar. A furious roar accompanied by a vibration wave arrived. A completely oval black thing emerged from the sea. It is a sea beast, but its shape is very strange. It is oval-shaped and has no legs or limbs. Its body is dark and rough. From time to time, many white light threads would appear on its thick black skin. It's coming out. Granny Tang immediately took out a telescope and looked at the white threads on the surface of the sea beast. The sea beast is more than 10 meters long. Compared to the White Sun Island, it is very small. However, it can cause the White Sun Island to tremble unceasingly. This is the heavenly spell divine runic beast. Not good, that guy is very strong. We should withdraw the warriors. Granny Tang suddenly shouted, "Quickly withdraw." The warriors did not listen to her and continued to attack the sea beast. They released talisman tools that can transform into nets and trapped the sea beast layer by layer. Just as the warriors thought that they had captured the sea beast, a sharp whistling sound was suddenly heard. It is very ear-piercing. That sound seems to be accompanied by a very strong vibration wave that entered their eardrums, causing their ears to feel a slight stinging pain. The vibration wave rushed over. Although Qin Yun and Granny Tang are inside the barrier, the flesh on their faces still trembled because of the vibration wave. The dozens of divine net talisman tools that surrounded the sea beast were all torn apart. The surrounding White Sun warriors were all sent flying by the vibration wave. Fortunately, they have very strong defensive equipment. Otherwise, they would have been shattered long ago. Now they are only vomiting blood. Quickly come back. Granny Tang shouted again. The White Sun warriors did not retreat. They are still fighting with the sea beast. Qin Yun's expression is grave as he said in his heart, "Those warriors should be heavenly god realm cultivators." More than 100 heavenly gods of this level, relying on powerful equipment, are actually unable to capture that sea beast. Xiao Yun, what is this Granny Tang's cultivation? Ling Yun'er asked. I'm not too sure. Maybe Holy God Realm. I can sense a trace of Holy God Realm aura, but I'm not sure. She hid it too well, Qin Yun said in his heart. While Qin Yun and Ling Yun'er were talking, Granny Tang suddenly rushed out. She can actually pass through the barrier. Granny, be careful. Qin Yun is very worried that something will happen to Granny Tang. This is a very kind old granny. He is worried that this kind old granny will be killed by the sea beast. After Granny Tang rushed out, she threw out a very large crystal leaf. Then, she stood on the crystal leaf and glided over with a gust of wind, charging towards the huge sea beast. Is the White Sun Island gone? How can we let an old granny go up and save people? Qin Yun looked around but did not see anyone. He suspects that the reason why the White Sun warriors did not retreat is to force the sea beast to release more heavenly spell divine runes. When the sea beast attacked, a very strong white heavenly spell divine rune would appear on the surface of its body. And in the distance, there must be someone using a telescope to record the heavenly spell divine runes on the sea beast's surface. Xiao Yun, that sea beast is very strong. Ling Yun'er said, I wonder if Granny Tang can block it. Just as Granny Tang went over, the oval-shaped sea beast jumped out of the water. The surface of the sea beast's body is no longer rough and thick skin. Instead, it has become glossy black crystal. White heavenly spell divine runes appeared within the crystal. The heavenly spell divine runes suddenly shone with a strong light. The strong light turned into waves of fluctuations, forming a very strong shock wave that spread out in all directions. Roar. The sea beast opened its mouth and roared, shooting out a strong light. The strong light carried a very strong shock wave. It turned into a fan-shaped light wave that vibrated forward. The white shock wave was very fast, it instantly rippled out. Dozens of White Sun warriors who were hit by the shock wave suddenly had their flesh and blood splattered everywhere. This scene caused Qin Yun's scalp to go numb. The armor worn by the White Sun warriors was undamaged, but the flesh within the armor was crushed by the strong shockwave. The sea surface was immediately dyed red with blood. The sea beast's shockwave power has a very strong penetrating power. It easily penetrated all kinds of defensive divine armors. Quickly retreat. Granny Tang angrily rebuked the group of White Sun warriors. She could see that the sea beast was very difficult to deal with, so she told them to retreat early. However, they did not listen, so dozens of them died in an instant. The White Sun warriors finally knew fear because the armor on their bodies could not withstand the sea beast's powerful attack. The White Sun warriors quickly retreated. As for Granny Tang, she was still entangled with the sea beast. When Qin Yun saw that no one was helping Granny Tang, he immediately ran out quietly. He stood on the white jade gourd and quickly rushed towards Granny Tang. After Granny Tang participated in the battle, the situation on the sea surface became even worse. Huge waves surged into the sky and the waves were ferocious. Qin Yun stood on the white jade gourd and entered the ferocious sea. It was difficult for the people on the island to see him. Granny Tang can't beat that guy. Qin Yun immediately determined. He could see that not only is the sea beast very strong, it is also very scheming. At the beginning, the sea beast did not display a very strong strength. Then, it erupted with a very strong power and killed dozens of White Sun warriors in an instant. Now that an important inscription master like Granny Tang had gone over, she would definitely stimulate the sea beast to become even stronger. After Qin Yun rushed over, the oval-shaped sea beast suddenly changed shape. It turned into a bull-shaped beast covered in black crystal scales. The runes on its body were originally white, but now they have turned golden, making it look even stronger. Chapter 2235. Qin Yun is now outside the vibration domain. He can see that Granny Tang's face is filled with discomfort. If her body was not strong enough, her bones would have been shattered. Granny Tang! Qin Yun suddenly shouted, then immediately used mysterious penetration divine ability and directly went inside. When Granny Tang heard Qin Yun's voice, she felt apprehensive and even more worried. In her eyes, Qin Yun is only a young boy, but now he rushed in to save her. She is very touched by this but also blamed Qin Yun for being too reckless. "I will eat you," the bull-shaped sea beast roared. Granny Tang is standing on top of the crystal lotus flower. Her body is being attacked by vibration divine power from all directions, making it hard for her to move. But she is still an inscription master. In a flash, she released a very strong rune. This is Heavenly Law Divine Rune. This is also a kind of inscription battle technique. A group of Heavenly Law Divine runes suddenly appeared and formed hundreds of small stars spiraling around. Boom! The bull-shaped sea beast rushed over and collided with the Heavenly Law Divine rune, creating a fierce collision. The bull-shaped sea beast was shaken away, but the vibration domain is still there. This vibration domain is formed by a very strong Heavenly Law Divine rune. It is invisible and hidden inside the seawater. "Little guy, quickly run!" Granny Tang anxiously shouted. Qin Yun has already arrived. He has no intention of leaving. The bull-shaped sea beast saw someone come in, moreover a young boy. It did not put him in its eyes. It roared again and pounced towards Granny Tang, opened its huge mouth, wanting to swallow her whole. The Heavenly Law Divine rune that Granny Tang released just now was prepared for a long time. Now she cannot release it again. Qin Yun promptly used Transcending Void Step to grab Granny Tang, then quickly used Transcending Void Step to avoid the bull-shaped sea beast's bite. Just now, Granny Tang thought that she was truly going to be eaten, but in the blink of an eye, she was saved by a young boy. Even Qin Yun found it difficult to escape from this vibration domain. He is mainly relying on Little Ant Queen's spatial divine power. Because that kind of vibration power is truly too strong, even his nether son became very unstable. If not for his powerful body being able to resist most of the vibration power, His body would have been deformed by the vibration. After feeling the power of the Heaven Law Divine Rune Beast at such a close distance, Qin Yun was still in a state of shock. That kind of power was extremely terrifying. This domain is a barrier. It's very difficult to break it. The only way to escape is to rush out. As Qin Yun spoke, he rushed out of the vibration domain with Granny Tang. Not long after he left, the bull-shaped sea beast chased after him. After Granny Tang got rid of the vibration domain, the formidable power of the blood soul within her body suddenly surged out. "I'll exterminate you!" Granny Tang raised her hand and shot out dozens of large crystal lotus flowers. The crystal lotus was as big as a table. As it flew out, pink runes flickered on the inside. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a beautiful pink crystal lotus. In that instant, Qin Yun sensed that these crystal lotuses are extremely dangerous. The pink runes inside them contain a dreadful destructive power. 36 crystal lotuses flew out like lightning and surrounded the bull-shaped sea beast, forming a large formation. "Open!" Granny Tang's expression was solemn as she shouted in a deep voice. The crystal lotus flower suddenly flickered with an intense pink glow. Then, it exploded like a star shattering. Rumble, a burst of loud sound echoed, the sea waves became even more turbulent. Scorching heat waves rushed over, accompanied by a suffocating destructive power. Qin Yun is extremely alarmed in his heart, because he can see that the reason why these crystal lotuses are so powerful is because of the runes inside them. The power of these runes can release a very strong destructive power. He suspects that it might be a kind of heavenly law divine rune. The bull-shaped sea beast let out an angry scream. The vibration became even more intense. Granny Tang took out 2 slender crystal swords. Under the control of her formidable mental power, the crystal swords broke through layer upon layer of huge waves and attacked the center of the vibration. Along with 2 miserable screams, the center of the vibration gradually calmed down. Granny Tang and Qin Yun are standing on the crystal lotus flower, looking ahead. "Little guy, wait for me here." Granny Tang stepped on the water and dived into the water. Not long after, the sea began to undulate again. They are fighting underwater? Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye and saw that there are indeed energy fluctuations below. Granny Tang's 2 swords are not simple. Just now, they must have hit the bull-shaped sea beast's vital points. That bull-shaped sea beast is now making its final struggle. Ling Yun'er said. Qin Yun patiently waited. If the bull-shaped sea beast was captured, he would be able to study those powerful heavenly law divine runes. That kind of heavenly law divine rune with intense vibration power is something Qin Yun likes very much. If he can master it, his vibration power will definitely reach a higher level. What made Qin Yun puzzled is that no one from White Sun Island has come to help even after the battle has reached this stage. He stood on the crystal lotus flower and waited for a while. Granny Tang finally came out of the water and ran to Qin Yun's side. "Granny, has that thing been caught?" Qin Yun asked in low voice. Don't tell anyone about this," Granny Tang said in low voice. "Let's go back." Granny Tang is very grateful to Qin Yun. If not for Qin Yun suddenly bringing her out of the vibration domain, she would have been swallowed by the bull-shaped sea beast. Although she wouldn't die after entering its stomach, her situation would have been even more dangerous. "Xiao Yun, it was really dangerous just now. It's all thanks to you." Granny Tang is also very surprised by Qin Yun's power to cross space, but she did not ask much. "You're welcome. If Granny was in danger, no one would teach me heavenly law divine rune," Qin Yun said with smile. "Oh right, Granny, why didn't anyone come to help?" "Those cowards, they don't dare to come." Granny Tang groaned a few times in a very bad mood. They quickly returned to White Sun Island and entered a carriage. Those dozens of White Sun warriors also surrounded the carriage to express their thanks. If not for Granny Tang's help, they would have been annihilated. Qin Yun is in the carriage. Granny Tang asked him if he was injured or something. She looks very worried about him. Granny, I'm fine. What about the big bull monster? Qin Yun said with smile. Can I learn the heavenly law divine rune on its body? Of course you can. But the premise is that you have enough perception. Otherwise, even if you spend a long time learning, it will be difficult to master. Granny Tang said with smile. Xiao Yun, don't go around talking about me capturing that big bull monster. And Qin Yun nodded. Because those white sun warriors all thought that Granny Tang only slipped away and did not kill the big bull monster. Granny Tang also has her own selfish motive. She doesn't want to hand over the bull-shaped sea beast. Qin Yun followed Granny Tang and arrived at her residence. It is a 3-story wooden building located in a garden, close to the center of White Sun Island. In this garden, there are many other people living in such houses. At this moment, Qin Yun also understood that although Granny Tang is an inscription master, her status is not too high. Otherwise, those White Sun warriors would not have disobeyed her. She is in charge of maintaining the array pillars. This is a hard job and she needs to run everywhere. Therefore, she is not a top-level powerful inscription master in White Sun Island. Although Granny Tang said that her status is not high, Qin Yun can tell that she has mastered many powerful things. Therefore, this Granny Tang must have other identities. Of course, Qin Yun did not ask too much about these things. He only wanted to learn the heavenly law divine rune in peace, and then find Xiao Yuemei in passing. Granny Tang brought Qin Yun to an underground secret room. The secret room is very spacious, enough to release the bull-shaped sea beast. Granny, wait, don't release it yet, Qin Yun suddenly said. Why? Granny Tang wants to release the corpse of the bull-shaped sea beast. Only by releasing it can she study it more carefully. I remember that those patrol squads from before had a tool in their hands that could sense the existence of sea beasts. Qin Yun said. If you release it and someone happens to pass by here and sense that there are sea beasts here, won't you be exposed? That's right. Granny Tang thought about it carefully and felt that she was too careless. She chuckled and said, Xiao Yun, you are just a child yet you are already so crafty. What will happen when you grow up? Granny, actually I am not a child. I was just turned into a young boy by a naughty little sister. Qin Yun said with a smile. I am also a character in the Divine Desolate. I told you, a young boy who is only at the profound God realm can come to the heavenly law universe. He is definitely not simple. Granny Tang chuckled and said, Maybe you are an old fox even older than me. No, even if I return to my original appearance, I will still be a young boy. Qin Yun said with a smile. At this moment, the sound of knocking came from above. Someone is coming. Granny Tang promptly left the basement with Qin Yun and arrived above. Qin Yun hid inside a room while Granny Tang went to open the door. After opening the door, a white-haired woman entered the room. Her appearance is extremely beautiful. She is wearing a white long skirt. After she came in, her beautiful eyes looked all around and said with a very bad tone, I heard that you fought a sea beast and even used your 36 heavenly star lotus. Indeed, in order to protect myself, I had to give up my 36 heavenly star lotus. Granny Tang did not look at the woman with a good expression and said in cold voice, Fan Linghui, did the island master send you here? Indeed, the island master originally wanted to personally see you, but I told him not to come. After all, you are not injured. Fan Linghui suddenly said with a very sharp and unkind tone, Old woman, no matter what, I am still the island master's second wife. You should be a bit more respectful to me. I am fine, you can leave now. Granny Tang coldly groaned and said, Your island master's son asked me to ask you, did you catch that sea beast? Fan Linghui said and took out a disc. It is a probing tool. She said with sneer, Old woman, did you see that? I have a tool to detect sea beasts' energy fluctuation in my hand. Don't think you can fool me. Qin Yun, who is hiding in a room, also knows that this woman is one of the wives of Granny Tang's son. He knows that Granny Tang has another identity, but he did not expect her to be the island master's mother. Chapter 2236. Granny Tang did not want Fan Linghui to know that Qin Yun is here. Because Fan Linghui's heart is like a snake or scorpion, always thinking of ways to harm the people around Granny Tang, so Granny Tang is worried that Fan Linghui will target Qin Yun. While Granny Tang is worrying, Qin Yun is very calm. He pushed open the door and went out. Just as Fan Linghui was about to open the door, she saw a handsome young boy, which scared her. Qin Yun looked at Granny Tang and said, "Master, you're back?" "And I just came." Granny Tang was stunned. After a while she responded naturally. "Master? Old woman, didn't you say that you won't accept disciples anymore?" Fan Linghui sneered. "You accepted disciples again?" Qin Yun pretended to be puzzled and asked loudly, "Master, who is this aunt?" "Aunt?" When Fan Linghui heard Qin Yun describe her like this, she suddenly froze as if she was struck by lightning. Although she has lived for a long time, she used a lot of resources to keep herself young and beautiful. But this young boy in front of her actually called her aunt. "Hello, aunt." Qin Yun politely smiled. Fan Linghui suddenly felt a stabbing pain in her heart. She wished she could immediately look at her own face to see if there are wrinkles or something. Why did this little demon call her aunt? Granny Tang also did not expect that Qin Yun would do this. She is surprised, but at the same time, she is also very happy in her heart. She secretly praised Qin Yun for being a sensible child. You damned wimpy kid, who is your aunt? Don't randomly call me that." Fan Linghui's eyebrows suddenly rose. She angrily shouted with a fierce look. Qin Yun quickly walked behind Granny Tang, made a face at Fan Linghui and said, "Aunt, when you are angry, you look so ugly, like a monkey's butt." Fan Linghui's eyes suddenly appeared thick, killing intent. She stared at Qin Yun like a vicious viper, wishing she could pinch Qin Yun to death. "Little demon, you are tired of living!" Fan Linghui shouted loudly. "Fan Linghui, enough, you are also a character, how can you compete with a child?" Granny Tang coldly said, "Hurry up and leave." Fan Linghui just used a tool and did not detect the sea beast. She was disappointed and also full of anger, so she left full of anger. Granny Tang hurriedly went to close the door. She sighed in her heart, that was close. If she had released the bull-shaped sea beast's corpse into the underground chamber, its aura would have definitely leaked out and would have been detected by Fan Linghui's tools. At that time, she would not be able to hide it and would have to hand it over to Island Master. Although the Island Master is her son, her relationship with him is not good. This is mainly caused by Fan Linghui. "Granny, that woman wants to kill me." Qin Yun faintly smiled. He can sense Fan Linghui's intense killing intent. Qin smiled and said, "I will be dead in 3 days, I will be." Qin Yun can feel that. "Tang, you Yun kana meng Linghui, I will not do you." Qin Ling Ji Tang, Qin and Yuns. Tang 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 will Lung. "I won, Yun will to be." Granny Tang's expression suddenly became cold. She said, "Xiao Yun, you must stay by my side for the next few days. Don't run around, she thinks you are my disciple, she will think of a way to kill you." "Granny, did you have a disciple before?" Qin Yun asked. "Dead, killed by Fan Linghui." Granny Tang's solemn face is filled with sorrow, her eyes are filled with hatred. "Then why didn't you kill her to take revenge?" Qin Yun frowned. He did not expect that Granny Tang would have this kind of experience. "My son is the Island Master. He is very obedient to that fox spirit and I have no evidence to prove that she killed him. It was also because of this matter that I had a falling out with my son." Granny Tang sighed and said, "Besides, I don't have the strength to kill her." Qin Yun thought for a moment and said, "Later, did that woman splash dirty water on you everywhere? Did that cause you to become so miserable?" Granny Tang let out a long sigh and helplessly said, I was harmed by that woman. My disciple was killed by her, and my son doesn't trust me and even hates me. There is nothing more sorrowful than this in life. Qin Yun originally planned to properly study Heavenly Law Divine runes in White Sun Island, but now that his enemy has appeared, he naturally has to kill the enemy first. There are some other things, although Granny Tang did not say it. Qin Yun can see that Granny Tang must have grasped something. That is why Fan Linghui did not kill her. Fan Linghui's strength is not weak, and she definitely has a lot of power. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to successfully make Granny Tang so miserable. Increasing strength is the only way out. Qin Yun revealed a smile and said, "Granny, let's study that big ox monster." "I can't release the big ox monster now, it will be detected. That woman is very cunning, she must have sent people to keep an eye on me." Granny Tang shook her head and said, "I was careless before, luckily you reminded me, Xiao Yun." Qin Yun smiled and said, "If we do it inside a space magic tool, it will be isolated from the outside world, it won't be detected." "Large-scale space magic tool, and can even let people in? You have one?" Granny Tang said in astonishment. "Isn't this kind of space magic tool very normal?" "Granny, can't your space magic tool also store the big ox monster?" Qin Yun asked doubtfully. "Space magic tools that can store people are very rare, at least I can't refine them. Many inscription masters of White Sun Island also can't make them. This kind of space magic tool involves a very complicated level, it requires very complicated structure of space runes to be able to store people inside." Granny Tang said, "That is for you. In Divine Desolate, this kind of magic tool is very common. You just need to add a set of slightly complicated space runes, I will teach you," Qin Yun said with smile. Soon after, Granny Tang and Qin Yun went to the basement. Qin Yun took out his heaven-leaping shuttle and brought Granny Tang into the large warehouse inside. After entering, Granny Tang sighed repeatedly because this kind of space magic tool that can store people is very rare in White Sun Divine Realm. After Granny Tang sighed, she immediately took out the ox-shaped sea beast's corpse. The ox-shaped sea beast is already dead. There are still 2 swords stabbed into its body. It's already dead, won't those Heavenly Law Divine runes disappear? Qin Yun is somewhat worried. They won't, the Heavenly Law Divine runes have already transformed into flesh and blood, they are inside this body. Granny Tang pulled out her 2 crystal swords. It must be said that those 2 crystal swords are very powerful, they can actually pierce through the black scales of the ox-shaped sea beast. What surprised Qin Yun is that after the crystal swords were pulled out by Granny Tang, the 2 large holes suddenly healed themselves. Did it come back to life? Qin Yun is shocked. He immediately took out the floating cloud rod. No, this is the Heavenly Law Divine runes' self-healing ability. Granny Tang said, "The Heavenly Law Divine rune has already transformed into a body. As long as there is energy, the Heavenly Law Divine rune can absorb energy to recover." Qin Yun also studied a small part of the Heavenly Law Divine rune before. He knows that it has very strong self-healing ability. Granny Tang has already taken out an octagonal mirror. The mirror's surface released a white light that shone on the ox-shaped sea beast's body. Since the Heavenly Law Divine rune can heal itself, can this sea beast be resurrected? Qin Yun said in astonishment. "Yes, I just destroyed its consciousness. And the Heavenly Law Divine rune can very quickly produce its own consciousness, so I need to constantly pay attention to prevent the Heavenly Law Divine rune from producing consciousness." Granny Tang seems to be using the mirror to prevent the sea beast from resurrecting. Qin Yun thought for a moment and then released Mo. Granny Tang is not surprised to see Mo. She only feels that this little guy is very cute, she doesn't know what kind of magical fairy she is. After Mo saw the sea beast, she became very excited and said in low voice, "Big brother, I can control this big ox." Really? Qin Yun said in surprise. Mo nodded and said, Can I try? Granny Tang is also very doubtful and asked, Little fairy, can you really control this big ox monster? And Granny, can I control it? Mo asked. Of course you can, go and give it a try. Granny Tang also agreed. Mo's beautiful and cute eyes shot out two beams of light that entered the ox-shaped sea beast's body. The ox-shaped sea beast immediately opened its eyes. This scared Granny Tang so much that she immediately took out two crystal swords and looked at the ox-shaped sea beast with incomparable vigilance. Mo, this big ox can produce consciousness, will it devour you? Qin Yun knows that Mo is a magical fairy, so he is not too surprised. He is just somewhat worried. It won't, I am this big ox's consciousness. Mo seems to be very happy. She is controlling the big ox monster to run around. Little fairy, you are so awesome. Can you make this big ox's runes appear? I need the runes inside this big ox's body. Granny Tang said. Of course I can. After Mo finished speaking, the ox-shaped sea beast suddenly released white light. The sea beast that was originally covered in black scales suddenly turned into many white runes. Countless white threads weaved into a ball and transformed into this ox-shaped sea beast. Seeing this scene, Qin Yun is very shocked in his heart. Because this is the composition of heavenly runes. However, it is much more complicated and also a bit bigger than heavenly runes. Qin Yun has seen a few heavenly runes before. Those heavenly runes are all interweaved into a ball. And the one before him is the beast form of heavenly runes. Now he roughly understands the heavenly law divine rune. It is the evolved form of heavenly runes. What made him puzzled is that Mo was previously unable to control heavenly runes, but now she can control this powerful heavenly law divine rune. He suddenly thought that this might be related to him obtaining the Empyrean inscription spirit. After so many years, he and Mo have been together, maybe they have already established some kind of connection. Therefore, when his strength increases, Mo can also become stronger. Qin Yun feels that he must have established some kind of contract with Mo. That is why Mo can share the power of his Empyrean inscription spirit. Chapter 2237. As Granny Tang controlled the mirrors to record, she laughed excitedly and said, Xiao Yun, you little elf are really amazing. The inscription masters of your heavenly god Desolate must be very strong, right? That's not it. There aren't many fairies like Mo. Only I have fate with her, that's why we met. Qin Yun said, Granny, why do you look so excited? Calm down. Granny Tang's face was filled with smiles, she was grinning from ear to ear. If it was in the past, it would have taken a lot of effort to obtain this kind of heavenly law divine rune beast's runes. Now it's so easy to do it, it's really great. Is it really that difficult to obtain? Qin Yun thought that the process would be relatively easy. And it will take at least 8 to 10 years. Moreover, it will have to be obtained bit by bit. It will also need to be constantly reorganized. However, it is impossible for a single inscription master to complete it. It will require the cooperation of many inscription masters in order to proceed smoothly. Granny Tang said. Qin Yun now knows that heavenly law divine runes are very powerful, but it is not easy to obtain them. Even people who have stayed in the heavenly law universe for many years will not be able to grasp many heavenly law divine runes. Granny Tang quickly recorded that set of heavenly law divine runes and sighed. This is the only complete set of heavenly law divine runes that I have grasped. The ones I had before were all fragmented. You can even use bits and pieces of heavenly Dharma divine runes? Qin Yun was somewhat alarmed. He had seen Granny Tang's strength. The 36 celestial star lotus was very powerful. It can be used, but it's not strong enough. For example, the set of heavenly law divine veins that we have now is complete. If we were to obtain a small part of it, the vibration power that we release would not be strong enough. Granny Tang said, Mo was still controlling the cow to jump around. Granny Tang had also agreed to give the cow to Mo. Qin Yun placed Mo inside the 9-Sun Divine Soul and let her play with Yang Yang inside. He also warned Yang Yang not to eat the cow. This set of Heaven's Law Divine Grain is the Heaven's Law of Shaking. If it isn't complete, it won't be able to unleash the power of the Ox Beast, right? Qin Yun remembered that the white light shockwave that the big bull monster had unleashed could shatter dozens of White Sun warriors. Granny Tang nodded and said, "Those dozens of White Sun warriors were wearing very powerful divine armors, but they were still killed through the armor." From this, one could see how powerful the art of shaking heavens was, and that domain full of vibrations. "Granny, I've seen those people use talisman tools that can release a net. Is that also a heavenly law divine rune?" Qin Yun wanted to learn that kind of talisman tool. It's the Heaven's Law's divine grain. It was obtained from a type of sea spider. It's not complete, but it's not bad. I just happened to grasp a small portion of the Heaven's Law's divine grain. Granny Tang smiled and said, "I haven't taught you anything yet. Instead, it's because of you that I've gained a lot of benefits." Qin Yun and Granny Tang walked out of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and went to the basement outside. They communicated and learned from each other here. Granny Tang is very interested in the spatial runes that can store people. Qin Yun also very generously taught her. This kind of rune is not unique to the god Desolate. After half a day of mutual learning, Qin Yun also grasped the refining method of the net talisman tool. He obtained a few types of heavenly law divine runes. Although they were incomplete, it was enough. Granny Tang grasped a unique type of heavenly law divine glyph, which was also the secret to refining the heavenly star lotus. That kind of divine mark was related to the stars. The formidable part of the heavenly star lotus is that after carving this kind of star heavenly law divine rune, it can condense very strong star power inside and condense it into a star nucleus. After it is released, it will erupt with very strong might. When 36 heavenly star lotus is released, it will form a large formation and its might will be even more formidable. Granny Tang also passed on this kind of heavenly law divine rune to Qin Yun. After this exchange, Granny Tang realized that Qin Yun's inscription level is in no way lower than hers. In fact, it is much higher than hers. "Xiao Yun, to be honest, although you have the appearance of a young boy, I always feel that you are an old ghost," Granny Tang said with smile. "I am really very young." Qin Yun laughed and said, "I am worried that you are clearly an old guy, yet you call me Granny. I am really at a disadvantage." Granny Tang scolded with smile, "You must be a bit more sincere, don't swindle me." Qin Yun said with smile, "I am really not swindling you." While Granny Tang and Qin Yun were chatting and laughing, two very strong auras suddenly arrived from above. The smile on their faces immediately disappeared. One of the auras is very familiar to them, it is Fan Linghui. "My island master's son is here. This guy, I don't know if he is head over heels in love with that little slut or if he has some grudge against me." Granny Tang let out a long sigh and said to Qin Yun, "Xiao Yun, after we go up, help me take a look at my son's character. Maybe it is because I am closely involved that I am unable to see through him." Qin Yun solemnly nodded his head. "This is the grudge between mother and son. He must make an accurate judgment." Granny Tang brought Qin Yun from the basement to the small living room. Qin Yun saw the island master. He looks very young. From his appearance, he looks rather delicate. However, his eyes and aura are filled with the majesty of an island master. Especially when he saw Qin Yun, he exerted a very strong pressure on Qin Yun. This is to show off his strength to Qin Yun. The island master is still staring at Qin Yun. On his delicate face, a pair of sharp eyes are filled with ice-cold and faint killing intent. The island master is not deliberately revealing his killing intent. Instead, he is trying his best to conceal his killing intent. Qin Yun has always been very accurate at reading people. As soon as he met the island master, he determined that the island master is not captivated by Fanlinghui but rather a ruthless character. The island master's name is Zhang Anxiao. When he saw Granny Tang come out, he quickly got up and walked over. His voice is filled with concern. "Mother! Anxiao, what are you doing here?" Granny Tang's voice is cold, her eyes are filled with cold light as she glanced at Fanlinghui. "I heard that you fought against sea beasts and lost 36 heavenly star lotus. I was worried that something might have happened to you, so I specially came to see you." Zhang Anxiao's tone is very calm, it seems like he is truly concerned about Granny Tang. "I am fine, you can leave now." Granny Tang waved her hand and said, "Quickly leave." Zhang Anxiao looked at Qin Yun. His eyes flashed with faint killing intent but it disappeared in an instant. He asked, "Mother, you accepted another disciple? This little disciple looks pretty good, what is his background? What does it have to do with you if I accept a disciple? Quickly leave." Granny Tang kept urging her son to leave. "Mother, this little youth looks like a monkey spirit, we are worried that he will harm you." Fanlinghui also said with concern, "Auntie, you are worrying too much, how could I harm Master? On the other hand, when you came today, you kept calling Master an old granny." Qin Yun promptly said, "What nonsense are you talking about?" Fanlinghui angrily rebuked, "Brat, don't try to sow discord among our family." Zhang Anxiao coldly said to Qin Yun, "All of you scram for me." Granny Tang can sense Fanlinghui and Zhang Anxiao's killing intent towards Qin Yun. "Mother, before we figure out this brat's origin, you must guard against him." Zhang Anxiao exhorted with concern and then left with Fanlinghui. After they left, Qin Yun closed the door. "Xiao Yun, what do you think of me as your son?" Granny Tang sighed and sat on a chair. "Granny, you know better than me. You just can't accept the result, so you keep deceiving your own heart, forcing yourself to believe that your son was deceived by a scoundrel," Qin Yun said. Granny Tang nodded and said, "It seems like my previous disciple was really killed by this husband and wife pair." Qin Yun spread out his hands and said with smile, "Next they will kill me. Granny, do you want me to set up a trap?" "Don't act recklessly, if they want to kill you, they can really kill you," Granny Tang said anxiously. "Xiao Yun, although we haven't known each other for long, we can be considered as life and death friends. I don't want you to be killed." It is precisely because Qin Yun saved Granny Tang's life that she trusts Qin Yun very much. "Since you said so, I will also impolitely remind you," Qin Yun said. "Granny, what do you have on you that they really want? They killed your disciple because they are worried that you will pass that thing on to your disciple." Granny Tang's expression changed, she said, "I do have a very important thing but no one knows that I have it." "But they definitely know that you have it," Qin Yun said. "Granny, the one you need to worry about is not me but yourself. If you force them into a corner, they will really attack you." Granny Tang remained silent. After a while, she said, "Xiao Yun, wait until White Sun Island reaches shore. I will take you away from this island and go to White Sun Heavenly City on land. Granny, if we leave White Sun Island now, by the time we reach shore, we might not even have a corpse left." Qin Yun said, "All right, I will go pack my things and leave immediately." After Granny Tang realized her situation, she became somewhat flustered. Qin Yun sat in the living room, waiting for Granny Tang to pack her things. He closed his eyes and released a strand of his soul. It flew out of the house and wandered around. Granny Tang's house is in the garden, there are also other houses around it. However, Qin Yun discovered that the positions of the houses around Granny Tang's house have changed. It seems like Granny's house has been monitored very closely. Now the positions of the houses around it have changed, even the trees are changing. A formation must be about to be activated. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. Only the island lord, Zhang Anxiao, could secretly arrange all of this. Even if we leave now, it won't be that easy. Ling Yuner said. Xiao Yun, there might be a fierce battle. Qin Yun very calmly took out the Divine King's spear and checked the powerful bullets inside. Then he checked the Space Divine Power Pearl to see if it can erupt with Space Divine Power normally. Granny Tang came out of her room and saw Qin Yun sitting there with his eyes closed. She cannot help but feel astonished. She is an experienced and knowledgeable person. She can naturally see what this young man is doing in this state. It is an expert adjusting his state before a great battle. Chapter 2238. The moment Qin Yun opened the door, he sensed a faint killing intent rushing over. Zhang Anxiao must have wanted to attack his mother for a long time. He did not attack because he had some misgivings. Now that he learned that Granny Tang's 36 Heavenly Star Lotus was used, he decided to attack. When Qin Yun thought of this, he felt that Granny Tang would be besieged. In addition, Fanling Hui hated him to the bone, which would cause them to attack ahead of time. Granny, be careful, Qin Yun said in low voice. I know. Granny Tang's heart is completely cold. She really can't believe that her son would attack her. Previously, she could not accept that her disciple was killed by Zhang Anxiao. But now, she has completely sobered up. Fortunately, Granny Tang is already old, she can accept many things. Now she has to be serious because she has something very important to do. She has to ensure that Qin Yun can safely leave White Sun Island. She can't implicate an innocent outsider like Qin Yun. Furthermore, Qin Yun is her savior. After Qin Yun walked out, he sensed a very strong fluctuation of barrier power. Many of the houses and trees around Granny Tang's residence have been arranged to form a formation. When the formation was activated, it formed a barrier, trapping Qin Yun and Granny Tang. In this way, he could seal them here and deal with them slowly. Granny Tang is very angry, but she has to force herself to calm down. She must be very careful when dealing with the enemy. What she wants to do is not to take revenge, but to leave safely with Qin Yun. As for revenge, she does not have the strength to do so. Qin Yun is very curious about what exactly Granny Tang has in her hands to make her island master's son want it so much. Something that can make mother and son turn against each other must be very extraordinary. She even lost a disciple because of it. Qin Yun held a small pistol in his hand. After walking out of the house, he walked on the small path with a natural expression. Granny Tang's expression is very natural, but she is extremely vigilant. Qin Yun walked on the small path, and not long after, he bumped into a barrier. It is a transparent energy wall. Just by touching it a little, Qin Yun can see that this barrier is very strong. However, he is not worried at all because he can break this barrier. The only thing he is worried about is how to break through the encirclement. Many of the people on White Sun Island are experts from the White Sun Divine Realm. They have been here for many years and are very familiar with the usage of Heavenly Law Divine Runes. Therefore, Qin Yun was not very familiar with the overall strength of this place. Did Zhang Anxiao ask you to do this? After sensing the barrier, Granny Tang's expression turned incomparably grave. Granny Tang, we're just protecting you so that you won't run around. A voice rang out. Hurry up and remove the barrier, I want to get out. Granny Tang shouted in a low voice. Unless the island lord gives the order to retreat, we can only retreat. A voice came from afar. Qin Yun looked at a small house in the distance. The voice came from inside. What if I force my way out? Granny Tang sneered. Do you really think that this barrier can stop me? Loud laughter came from the hut. Granny Tang, if you have the ability, then go ahead and try. However, even if you can break the powerful barrier that we have set up, you won't be able to leave. This barrier can't stop me. Granny Tang walked towards Qin Yun and extended her hand to sense the barrier. She could tell that the barrier was very strong, but she wasn't clear about the specifics. After she reached out and touched it, her expression became even more serious. Ha! Granny Tang, what do you think of our barrier? The middle-aged man's laughter came from the hut. He is filled with pride. This is the heavenly law divine rune we obtained from the turtle beast? Granny Tang coldly snorted and said, You said that there was a problem with the turtle beast's corpse, causing the heavenly law divine rune to disappear. You actually dared to lie to me. I lost a lot to take it down. Granny Tang is extremely angry. She struck the barrier with her palm. The middle-aged man laughed loudly and said, Granny Tang, you are a woman, why do you always want to become so strong? Your talent in inscription is not bad, but it is still slightly lacking. You have mastered so many heavenly law divine runes, it will only distract you. You bunch of bastards! Granny Tang gritted her teeth and cursed. She continuously bombarded the barrier. Don't waste your energy. The Island Lord has ordered that you are not allowed to leave this garden. He wants to trap you for a period of time. The middle-aged man in the hut sneered and said, Granny Tang, the Island Lord is your son. You should reflect on how he treats you. Reflect? You bunch of bastards, I will exterminate you. Granny Tang is extremely angry. She frantically attacked the barrier. Qin Yun suddenly transmitted his voice to Granny Tang. Granny, I can leave. Get ready. Granny Tang suddenly calmed down and nodded at Qin Yun. Qin Yun pulled her along, used void transcending step, and directly pierced through space. After they left, killing intent suddenly surged in all directions. The people lying in ambush have been staring at Granny Tang and Qin Yun. But in the blink of an eye they disappeared. The middle-aged man in the hut rushed out with a huge crystal axe in his hand and cursed in low voice. That damned brat, what is his background? They hurriedly took out their equipment and went to investigate the situation around them. The middle-aged man is the most shocked because he discovered that Qin Yun and Granny Tang are near him. Go to hell. Granny Tang's pair of crystal longswords flew out. The middle-aged man with the huge axe reacted very quickly. He quickly dodged and fled. He is a heavenly god. If he were to face Granny Tang alone, the pressure would be very great. But just as he ran a few steps, his body became very heavy. Qin Yun released a very strong gravity domain that surrounded the surroundings. Within this gravity domain, he and Granny Tang are not affected. What kind of power is this? The middle-aged man is extremely alarmed. Granny Tang is also secretly alarmed. She quickly controlled the pair of crystal longswords to stab at the middle-aged man. The longswords flew over, bringing along Granny Tang's formidable blood spirit power. They pierced through the middle-aged man's head and heart. Right at this moment, more than 10 middle-aged and old men flew over. Yuner, help! Qin Yun shouted in his heart. Ling Yuner also promptly transferred her small nether sun's power to Qin Yun. Qin Yun's 9 meridians divine power completely opened, combined with the twin nether suns. He released an even stronger supergravity. After those middle-aged and old men approached the gravity domain, they discovered that there is a very strange domain in front of them. They knew that the domain must be very dangerous. They immediately stopped their steps. Qin Yun expected that they would stop, so he immediately expanded the domain and enveloped them in a short while. Granny, hurry up! Qin Yun gritted his teeth and shouted. I can't hold on for long, there are 2 sacred deities over there. Granny Tang is alarmed. The pair of crystal longswords flew over, and she also rushed towards those people and picked up a huge crystal axe. Qin Yun aimed the divine king's spear in his hand at a person who was taking out a divine talisman and shot a bullet, shattering that person's arm. The sacred deities from the White Sun divine realm were able to struggle free from Qin Yun's full power gravity domain. Moreover, they were able to release very strong divine power to use their weapons to resist. Granny Tang is not someone to be trifled with. She is currently in a fit of anger. She rushed over and started a massacre. Combined with her nimble flying swords, she killed more than half of the assassins in a few moves. and the two strongest sacred deity old men were seriously injured by Granny Tang's crystal axe. I can't take it anymore, let's go. Qin Yun's energy consumption is very fast. Seeing that they have the advantage, he promptly stopped. If this continues, he will be completely exhausted. The two sacred deities have very strong defensive divine armors on their bodies. Although they are being suppressed by the supergravity, they crazily urged their divine armors to resist, forming a very strong defense to protect their lives. Even Granny Tang can't kill them in one go, she can only seriously injure them. After the supergravity was withdrawn, the two sacred deities fled in panic. They fled very quickly and even used a very high-level divine talisman. It is impossible to catch them. Apart from the two old men, all the other middle-aged assassins have been killed. Zhang Anxiao is here. Granny Tang's eyes are red from killing, she angrily looked towards a certain direction. Qin Yun can sense Zhang Anxiao and Fanling Hui's aura. Apart from them, there are dozens of powerful sacred deities. Let's go. Granny Tang grabbed Qin Yun and started running. She very much wants to kill Zhang Anxiao, but the risk is very high, so she can't bring Qin Yun to take the risk. Granny Tang brought Qin Yun and charged straight through the bustling street. In a short while, they arrived at the edge of White Sun Island. Zhang Anxiao and Fanling Hui brought a group of experts to chase and kill. It alarmed many people. Why didn't they have this kind of speed when I was fighting the bull-shaped sea beasts? Granny Tang cursed in low voice and then jumped off White Sun Island with Qin Yun. Qin Yun and Granny Tang are standing on the crystal lotus flower. They are traveling very quickly in the sea. Zhang Anxiao and his group did not give up and chased after them. I told you to chase. Qin Yun fired several shots at the people chasing after them with his God King spear. Each bullet fired is like a star exploding. Although they are rather precious bullets, Zhang Anxiao and his group can block them and not get injured. Only they are covered in dust and their speed has been slowed down by a lot. Qin Yun fired a few shots behind him and set off a few intense flames. Then he took out the heaven-leaping shuttle and brought Granny Tang inside. The heaven-leaping shuttle submerged into the water and very quickly entered the depth. Because space is isolated, those people can't detect them. Those probing tools are mainly used to detect soul fluctuations. It is very difficult to avoid. If they enter a spatial container, the space will be isolated and soul fluctuations won't be transmitted out. After submerging into the deep sea, Qin Yun changed direction and flew towards Xiao Yueme. We are safe. Qin Yun revealed a smile and said, Xiao Yun, this time it is all thanks to you. Granny Tang said with bitter smile. If not for you, I would have fallen into that little bastard and fox spirit's hands. Qin Yun asked, Granny, which direction is White Sun Island going? White Sun Heavenly City. White Sun Heavenly City is on the shore. Most of the White Sun Divine Realms people in the Heavenly Law universe have been summoned back. Granny Tang said. Chapter 2239. On the sea surface, a group of people are passing through a sea of fire. They are holding tools in their hands and searching for Granny Tang's whereabouts. After a while, they all gave up. White Sun Island's Zhang Anxiao furiously roared and threw the tool in his hand into the sea. An old man jumped into the water and fished up the tool with heartache. Husband, that old woman and that damned brat ran away. Don't tell me we are just going to watch them run away like this? Fanling Hui very angrily said, That damned brat, he was the one who used that damned thing to stall us. They had all seen Qin Yun stand on Granny Tang's crystal lotus flower and shoot several bullets that exploded with intense flames at them. That damned old woman will most likely go to White Sun Heaven City. Zhang Anxiao said coldly. We are also heading to White Sun Heaven City now, we will see her sooner or later. But after we go to White Sun Heaven City, can we make a move against her? Fanling Hui's expression is filled with worry, she said in low voice. If that damned old woman gives up, won't we not be able to get it? She regards that treasure as her life. She won't let it go so easily. As long as I go to White Sun Heaven City, I will be able to capture her. Zhang Anxiao's eyes flickered with ruthlessness as he looked towards the direction of White Sun Heaven City. Fanling Hui is still very worried. She shook her head and said, "It won't be easy for us to make a move in White Sun Heaven City." Zhang Anxiao said with sneer, "Don't worry, I know the king's mansion in White Sun Heaven City. I will go there and make some arrangements, there won't be any problem. That damned old woman doesn't know about my connections in White Sun Heaven City, so she thinks that she will be safe there. Husband, how is the investigation of that brat going? I want to personally tear off that brat's dog mouth." Fanling Hui said fiercely. Recalling Qin Yun's face, the words "auntie, auntie, auntie" kept reverberating in her mind. Every time she thought of Qin Yun calling her auntie, she felt like throwing things. That brat was brought up by a patrol team. He came from God Desolate. Blue Sky Universe landed in a newly born God realm. The reason why White Sun Sky City gathered the people of White Sun God realm to return this time should also be because of this matter. Zhang Anxiao said. "Is the guy from Divine Desolate very strong?" Fanling Hui said with a frown, "I have heard of this. I just didn't expect that the gods Desolate would attract such attention from White Sun Sky City." Zhang Anxiao shook his head and said, "The Divine Desolate Heavens isn't strong. However, I heard that within the Heavenly Law Universe, there are forces that want to rush out and occupy the Divine Desolate Heavens." Fanling Hui was startled. "Rush out? We are from the White Sun Divine Realm, can we also go out?" "We can only leave the Blue Sky Universe when it descends into the White Sun Divine World. We can't go to other divine worlds." Zhang Anxiao's expression was solemn as he said, "The current Indigo Universe is different. So many forces within the Heavenly Law Universe are tempted to rush out. Rumor has it that the Desolate Gods is a newly born god world, and it's very special. It's a big fat piece of meat." Fanling Hui's eyes lit up. "Does that mean White Sun City also has the same idea? That's why White Sun City wants to gather us. I am the White Sun Island Master. I also have a position in White Sun City. When the time comes, dealing with that damned old granny will definitely not be a problem." Zhang Anxiao laughed proudly. "Husband, you are so awesome. When the time comes, remember to leave that little demon to me. I want to ruthlessly kill him." Fanling Hui laughed sinisterly. Qin Yun and Granny Tang are resting inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. The Heaven Leaping Shuttle is already far away from White Sun Island. Qin Yun ignited the sun flame liquid and released a scorching hot stream of air, propelling the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to quickly travel across the sea. It is like a meteor, dragging a long tail of light as it sped across the sea. It is much faster than White Sun Island and can reach White Sun Sky City earlier. "Granny, is White Sun Sky City really reliable?" Qin Yun asked with some worry. Zhang Anxiao won't dare to act recklessly in White Sun Sky City. Granny Tang said, "In short, White Sun Sky City is very strict. If Zhang Anxiao acts recklessly, he will be punished." "Then I am relieved," Qin Yun said. "White Sun Sky City has gathered the people of White Sun Divine World in the Heavenly Law Universe. I wonder why." Granny Tang said, "No matter what, I have to go take a look." Qin Yun knows that Granny Tang has some kind of secret treasure on her, that is why Zhang Anxiao is eyeing her. He did not ask what it is, after all, it is a very important secret treasure on her body. Granny Tang looked at Qin Yun taking out the soul-chasing talisman from time to time and asked, "Xiao Yun, is the talisman in your hand used to track a friend?" Qin Yun nodded and said, "I have a naughty little sister, she might be in White Sun Sky City, the direction is over there." Granny Tang said with smile, "You said that you were turned into this by that little sister. Then can you make that little sister also change me and make me younger?" "I have to see her first." Qin Yun laughed and said, "It should be possible. Don't worry, I will definitely thank her heavily." Granny Tang said. Qin Yun recalled the previous battle and said, "Granny, you obtained a crystal battle axe before, can you let me take a look?" Granny Tang promptly took out the crystal battle axe and handed it over to Qin Yun. She said, "I'll give it to you, it's useless to me." Qin Yun did not stand on ceremony and accepted it. Then he began to study the composition of this crystal material. After studying it for a bit, he discovered to his astonishment that inside this crystal material there is a certain amount of divine universe power fluctuation, however it is very weak. In other words, this material is formed very close to divine universe golden stone. Divine universe golden stone or divine universe amethyst are usually found in the center of huge celestial bodies. This kind of crystal material is very hard and very difficult to refine. It requires a very strong flame to melt. Granny Tang saw that Qin Yun is earnestly studying it and said in low voice, "Xiao Yun, you must know that I have a secret treasure on me." "Granny, you don't need to tell me this," Qin Yun said with smile. "This is your secret, don't tell anyone." Granny Tang very sadly sighed. "Sometimes it is still outsiders who are worthy of trust. That little bastard Zhang Anxiao, I'd rather raise a dog than raise him. What a waste of my hard work to raise him, and yet he treats me like this." "Granny, we are all cultivators, we have very long lifespans. It's good to let go of this kind of thing. As long as we can continue to cultivate and become stronger, all the pain we have experienced is just fleeting clouds. Just treat it as a kind of tempering of our mental state," Qin Yun said with smile. "Xiao Yun, it seems like you are also a person who has experienced many hardships." Granny Tang said with smile, "You must have experienced many hardships." Qin Yun nodded and said, "Previously, I almost couldn't get over it and became a devil. Later on, I got over it and it's over." Getting over it, it's easier said than done. Everyone understands this principle, but it's really very difficult to do. Granny Tang's mood is extremely depressed. Then walk around and broaden your horizons. This will allow you to quickly forget some things, Qin Yun said with smile. Granny Tang nodded and said again, "Xiao Yun, wait until we get to White Sun Heavenly City and see your little sister. Change my appearance and I'll tell you about the secret treasure." "Granny, you don't need to tell me," Qin Yun said. "No way, I want to tell you so that I don't encounter any mishaps." Granny Tang laughed and said, "It's settled. White Sun Heavenly City is completely white, it is very large, and it is located on the coast." Ferocious and violent waves roared along with the wind and battered the huge white city wall on the coast. The barrier of the city wall burst out with formidable energy, shaking the waves that battered the city wall and sending them flying, producing hua 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 sound. When approaching the coast, a white gourd suddenly appeared on the surface of the sea. It is several meters long. Qin Yun's heaven-leaping shuttle flew on the sea for 2 days and finally arrived at the coast. The heaven-leaping shuttle rushed to the beach along with the wave. It is still some distance away from the White Sun Heavenly City. Looking at the White Sun Heavenly City from afar, one can still feel a kind of oncoming shock. The White Sun Heavenly City is like a white super-huge dragon coiled on the coast. It has a kind of grand and magnificent aura. It seems like my little sister is in the White Sun Heavenly City. Through the soul-chasing talisman, Qin Yun can confirm that Xiao Yueme is nearby. "We will arrive at the White Sun Island very soon. Let's enter the city first," Granny Tang said. "I want to clearly understand why the White Sun Heavenly City summoned us to return to the Heavenly City." Qin Yun followed Granny Tang, lightly stepped on the sand on the coast and rushed towards the White Sun Heavenly City. Not long after, they arrived in front of the White Sun Heavenly City's gate. The gate is wide open, there are no obstructions, anyone can enter and exit at will. After entering the White Sun Heavenly City, There is an incomparably spacious main road that leads straight to the center of the city. On both sides of the 100-meter wide main road, there are identical white tall buildings. Those white tall buildings look like white jade. They are very beautiful. The main road leads directly to the White Sun Heavenly City. The city master is in charge of the White Sun Heavenly City, but the strongest person is still the White Sun Prince. The White Sun Prince Mansion has a very large villa in the center of the city. Standing at the city gate, one cannot directly see the villa because it is still very far away from the city gate. However, one can see the huge white tall building in the center. At the top of the white tall building, there is a very large white ball emitting waves of white divine light. It looks like a white sun. That is the White Sun Prince Mansion's tall building. White Sun Prince is ranked 5th among the top 10 experts in the heavenly law universe. He is neither strong nor weak. Granny Tang said to Qin Yun in low voice. Inside the White Sun Heavenly City, white attire is very common. Most of them are people from the White Sun Divine Realm. There are also some people with black hair like Qin Yun. It is not very rare. It also won't attract other people's attention. Qin Yun held the soul-chasing talisman and said with frown, "Granny, my little sister seems to be over there." The direction he is pointing at is the White Sun Prince Mansion. Then let's go there now. She is definitely not in the White Sun Prince Mansion. It is very difficult to enter the White Sun Prince Mansion, Granny Tang said. Chapter 2240. Qin Yun and Granny Tang are walking on the street. Along the way, they can see the first-floor doors of the tall buildings on both sides of the street. Next to the signboard above, there is a small imprint. That imprint is the imprint of the White Sun Palace. It means that it is the property of the White Sun Palace. Qin Yun doesn't care about the White Sun Palace at all. He only wants to quickly see Xiao Yuemei and ensure that she is fine. Xiao Yuemei came to the White Sun Heaven City alone. Qin Yun is very worried that she will cause trouble everywhere and then be captured by the experts of the White Sun Palace. Qin Yun saw the strength of Zhang Anxiao's group before. They are from the White Sun Divine World. They are very strong. Although Xiao Yuemei has pretty good strength, if she were to face many experts, it would be very dangerous. Especially inside the White Sun Heaven City. This is the gathering place of the White Sun Divine World. There must be many experts from the White Sun Divine World. Along the way, Qin Yun has been holding the soul-chasing talisman. Originally, Qin Yun and Granny Tang didn't think that Xiao Yuemei would be in the White Sun Palace. But now, they have been moving forward and haven't seen Xiao Yuemei. The direction of the soul-chasing talisman is precisely the White Sun Palace. More than half a day passed. The direction of the soul-chasing talisman still hasn't changed. Is this little girl really in the White Sun Palace? Qin Yun looked ahead. They are very close to the White Sun Palace. Xiao Yun, what's going on with your little sister? She can actually enter the White Sun Palace. Granny Tang said in shock. It seems like we have underestimated her. Qin Yun bitterly laughed. In front of them is the huge white gate of the White Sun Palace. It looks like white jade. The magnificent gate is carved with many exquisite carvings, mainly dragon carvings. The tightly closed grand gate looks like a work of art. Standing in front of the gate is like standing in front of a white jade mountain. The exquisite white jade dragon carvings are lifelike and also very imposing. This White Sun Palace is very difficult to enter, Granny Tang said with frown. Let's stay in the vicinity first. Qin Yun probed the barrier of the White Sun Palace a bit and realized that it is indeed very difficult to penetrate. Even if he used Little Ant Queen's spatial power, he still wouldn't be able to pass through. Previously, he had thought that even the spirit formation of Duke Whitesun's mansion was not much stronger than the one on White Sun Island. After arriving at the entrance of the White Sun Palace, he realized that he was wrong. The barrier of the White Sun Palace was much stronger than the barrier of the White Sun Island. If this little girl knows that I am here, she will definitely come out to find me. Qin Yun looked at the soul-chasing talisman. Xiao Yuemei also has a soul-chasing talisman. If she is not naughty, as long as she sees the soul-chasing talisman's reaction, she will definitely come out to find Qin Yun. Granny Tang brought Qin Yun to stay in a medium-sized inn. They asked for a suite with 2 rooms and a small living room. When trading in the White Sun Sky City, they used something called the White Sun Divine Crystal. It looked similar to the Sun Divine Crystal, but it was white. Granny Tang is an inscription master. Although she is not the best, she is still very rich. Qin Yun waited in the inn for an entire night, but Xiao Yuemei did not come to find him. He cannot help but become anxious, worried that Xiao Yuemei would be captured. Granny, I want to intrude into the White Sun Palace. Qin Yun came out of his room at daybreak and asked after seeing Granny Tang. Granny Tang was so frightened that she almost screamed. She hurriedly said in a deep voice, "Little Yun, it's very dangerous for you to barge into the White Sun Mansion. We can't even deal with Zhang Anxiao and his group on White Sun Island, let alone the experts in the White Sun Mansion. I am worried that my little sister will be captured." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "I am not afraid, I should be able to enter. Xiao Yun, how about this? I'll contact an old friend and see if he can help us find out some information. You must be patient and wait for me to come back." Granny Tang warned, "Don't do anything stupid, otherwise I don't know how to save you." "All right, I will definitely wait for you to return." Qin Yun nodded and said, "If there is no need to take any risks, it is naturally better not to take any risk." Granny Tang left in a hurry. She did not let Qin Yun wait for long and returned after an hour. "Granny, what did you find out?" Qin Yun hastily asked. "My old friend is more greedy for small gains. He wants to exchange something with me and is willing to help me find information." Granny Tang said. "Exchange what?" "I will give." Qin Yun hastily said. "Xiao Yun, don't be anxious. That guy is now demanding an exorbitant price. He wants 5 heavenly law divine runes before he is willing to help me." Granny Tang cursed in low voice, "This bastard is too much." After Qin Yun heard this, he also frowned because 5 heavenly law divine runes is considered a lot. For example, Granny Tang has only mastered 10 or so heavenly law divine runes. Although those heavenly law divine runes are not complete, they are all very good and can unleash very strong power. "Take me to see him," Qin Yun said. "All right, I will have him come here again in the afternoon to talk to me." Granny Tang nodded and said. In the afternoon, Qin Yun and Granny Tang are waiting for that person in the hall. Granny Tang does not know much about that person. He is a friend she met many years ago and it is said that he has some relationship with the city lord. Not long after, that person arrived. He is an old man with a wide forehead, a hooked nose and a pointy face. Although he is wearing ordinary white clothes, he has a very imposing manner. With a glance, one can tell that he is an old man with extraordinary strength. Sacred God realm. Moreover, his body is very strong and his mental power is also very strong. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. This guy is an extremely high-level inscription do master. He might be at the level of inscription do king. The old man's name is Bai Qiangshu. After he came in, he said with a grin, "Granny Tang, is this your grandson?" "He is my friend, he wants to enter the Wang mansion." Granny Tang said, "Friend? For this young man to be able to become your friend, he must have something extraordinary about him." Bai Qiangshu looked at Qin Yun and said with a smile, "Senior, can you let me enter the Wang mansion?" Qin Yun asked. "I can't. Your cultivation is too low, you have to at least be a heavenly god to be qualified to enter the Wang mansion." Bai Qiangshu sensed Qin Yun's profound god aura and shook his head. "Then help me gather information," Qin Yun said. 3 heavenly law divine runes. Bai Qiangshu looked at Granny Tang and said with a smile, This is my biggest concession. Granny Tang gritted her teeth. Thinking that Qin Yun is her savior, she accepted it. Just as she was about to agree, Qin Yun suddenly called out to her. Granny, don't give it to him. Qin Yun said. You spent many years to collect those heavenly law divine runes. You cherish them very much, you can't give them to this guy. His inscription level is too low. He is not worthy of your heavenly law divine runes. Bai Qiangshu frowned, his expression turned cold and said, Little demon, what right do you have to say that I am not worthy of Granny Tang's heavenly law divine runes? You are not even as good as me. What right do you have to have Granny Tang's heavenly law divine runes? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, I have not seen such an arrogant little demon for many years. Bai Qiangshu rolled up his sleeves and said with a smile, What right do you have to say that I am not as good as you? Qin Yun took out a talisman paper. It is a divine talisman paper. He said, I will draw a set of runes on the talisman paper. If you are unable to decipher the runes within half an hour, this divine talisman will explode. You want me to decipher the talisman? Bai Qiangshu faintly smiled. This kind of thing like divine talisman is not difficult for me. Forget about divine talisman, even heavenly talisman is nothing. Qin Yun said, What if you can't decipher it? Bai Qiangshu laughed heartily and said, If I can't decipher it, then it proves that you are right. I am not worthy of Granny Tang's heavenly law divine runes. But that is all. Don't even think about making me agree to your conditions. Qin Yun promptly took out the floating cloud divine needle and began carving on the talisman paper in a very natural and smooth manner. His speed is very fast. In just a few blinks of an eye, he has finished carving the bright and dark lines. Then he handed over the talisman to Bai Qiangshu. Bai Qiangshu took it and looked at it. He said with smile, I thought it would be very strong, but it is only SOSO. Watch how I decipher this talisman. Please. Qin Yun said. After deciphering the talisman, it must be in perfect condition. You can only erase a portion of the runes. You must not destroy the talisman paper. When I decipher the talisman, your grandfather might still be wearing diapers. You don't need to remind me. Bai Qiangshu said with proud smile. Soon after, he concentrated his mental power on the divine talisman. He originally thought that it would be easy to decipher, but he discovered that the runes on the talisman are not simple at all. Not only the finesse of these runes have reached a certain level, they also don't have the slightest bit of order, they don't have any rules. This divine talisman is an attack-type divine talisman that can explode. Generally, the runes on this kind of talisman follow a certain rule. However, he can't understand the runes on Qin Yun's divine talisman. He has never seen these runes before. He also doesn't know what kind of runes they are. At first glance, it looks like a child's blindly drawing. But looking carefully, it is filled with an indescribable charm. What shocked Bai Qiangshu the most is that the finesse of these runes are very high. This talisman has sun runes, star runes and moon runes. The finesse of these three kinds of runes are very high. Moreover, they were created very quickly. Moreover, they are perfectly compatible with each other without any conflict. This is a very brilliant technique. Star Lord, Moon Lady and Sun Emperor, Qin Yun has all three kinds of inscription spirit. Bai Qiangshu can't see a few heavenly runes. These heavenly runes have been carved by Qin Yun in the form of dark lines, so it is very difficult to see. However, Bai Qiangshu can feel the fluctuations of heavenly runes, but he can't figure them out. If he can't solve it, the talisman will explode in an hour. If Bai Qiangshu can't solve it, it means that he has lost to a young boy. Bai Qiangshu doesn't dare to randomly try. If he carelessly erases the runes, it will only cause the talisman to explode in advance. Qin Yun is standing on a chair, knocking his legs and looking at Bai Qiangshu with a grin. Bai Qiangshu is already sweating profusely. He is currently analyzing the seemingly shallow runes on the surface of the talisman, but he can't figure anything out. Brother, is it very difficult? Granny Tang said with a smile. Granny Tang, what is the background of this little demon? Bai Qiangshu has already given up. He threw the talisman to Qin Yun and said, I only lost half because I am not familiar with his runes. This little demon is definitely not from the White Sun Divine Realm. Chapter 2241. Qin Yun had previously learned from Granny Tang that different god realms had different runes. It is not strange that Bai Qiangshu can see through it. Therefore, Qin Yun and Granny Tang are not surprised. Brother, you are actually the city lord? Congratulations! Granny Tang said with smile. You are already the city lord, why are you still haggling over a small favor for me? I don't want you to owe me a favor. Bai Qiangshu chuckled, then looked at Qin Yun and asked, Little demon, are you from the Divine Desolate? Your inscription technique is indeed very strong. I can't decipher it mainly because I am not familiar with your runes, it is not because I am inferior to you. Qin Yun said with smile, City Lord Bai, how about this? Give me a talisman and I will decipher it. I am also not familiar with your White Sun Divine Realm's runes. If I can decipher it, it will prove that you are inferior to me. Alright, even if I am inferior to you, I won't lose anything. Bai Qiangshu said with smile. Even if you are stronger than me, I won't help you with anything. Qin Yun and Granny Tang can see that Bai Qiangshu is a guy who plucks feathers from wild geese. If they want his help, they must give him some benefits. This should be his style. After all, he is the city lord. His position in White Sun Heaven City is also very high. Being able to see the city lord of White Sun Heaven City is already very good, let alone asking him to do something. Alright, I am not asking you to do anything. I just want to prove that you are not worthy of Granny Tang's Heavenly Law Divine Rune. Qin Yun said with smile. Bai Qiangshu laughed and then took out a transparent paper. It looks like a thin membrane, it is a kind of crystal talisman paper. This crystal material is a special product of the White Sun Divine Realm. Bai Qiangshu used a snow-white rune knife and released a very strong light ball that wrapped around the rune knife and the crystal talisman paper. Then he began carving runes, not letting Qin Yun see his runes. If he used the crystal talisman paper, he would most likely have to completely hide the runes. At that time, there would only be dark runes and no bright runes. Nothing can be seen, there is no way to decipher it. Brother, it is not good for you to bully a child like this. Granny Tang said with frown. He was the one who tried to be brave, he wanted to compete with me. Bai Qiangshu said with smile. Just now he used runes that I am not familiar with to trick me. I was bullied by him, now I am just bullying him back. Qin Yun watched with a faint smile. He looked confident. He felt that the city lord was very interesting. Bai Qiangshu's inscription speed was relatively slow. After all, they were all dark inscriptions. He could not complete a talisman as quickly as Qin Yun. Qin Yun and Granny Tang waited for him for a full half an hour. After Qiangshu finished, Qin and Qiangshu handed Qin, Tang, Qin Yun and Qin Tang Tian Qiangshu Tian. After Qin Tang Tian Chong talisman paper, Tian Chong Yun can see that their Yun can talisman runes. I've already activated this talisman. It will explode in an hour. The rules for undoing the talisman are the same as before. You can't destroy this talisman, but you have to successfully undo the talisman. You can't let this talisman explode after an hour. Bai Qiangshu smiled proudly and said, Little devil, you're still too inexperienced compared to me. Qin Yun very calmly looked at the talisman and took out the floating cloud divine needle. You want to take action so soon? Bai Qiangshu said in surprise. If you fail, the talisman will explode, but don't worry, it won't be very powerful. Qin Yun used the floating cloud divine needle and began carving runes on the talisman. He also carved dark runes. The runes he carved are nether sun totems. As he became stronger and stronger, he mastered more and more nether sun totems. The nether sun totem he carved has a kind of devouring ability. Nether sun totem can devour other runes, this way it can destroy the dark runes inside. Qin Yun carved nether sun totem on the surface of the talisman, it won't penetrate inside. He can't see the dark runes but nether sun totem can sense them. As long as it can sense them, it can quickly devour them. If it is a huge formation pillar or barrier, this technique can also be used to break the formation. However, it is very complicated. There are many nether sun totems that need to be carved. They also need to pour in a lot of energy to make the nether moon totem become active. There are many steps and it is very easy for people to detect. And it is done on a small talisman paper, it is a lot faster. Qin Yun has the Sun Emperor inscription spirit, so he can carve the nether sun totem very quickly. After he finished, he secretly activated the invisible nether sun totem. The nether sun totem's devouring power appeared and began devouring the runes inside the crystal talisman. Runes are a kind of energy, they are condensed from blood spirit power. As long as it is energy, it can be devoured. Qin Yun used runes to devour runes. This way, Bai Qiangshu's runes won't reject each other and won't explode while undoing the talisman. Otherwise, if he directly used devouring power to devour the runes, the talisman would be stimulated by external energy and explode. Bai Qiangshu also finds it strange because Qin Yun has been carving his crystal talisman for a long time, yet it still hasn't exploded. This is very abnormal. Qin Yun waited for a while and sensed that there is only a small part of the nether sun totem inside the crystal talisman. I am done. Qin Yun returned the talisman to Bai Qiangshu. How is this possible? You must be playing with me. Bai Qiangshu took the talisman and secretly examined it. He is shocked to discover that the runes he carved have completely disappeared. Instead, they have become someone else's runes. The runes he carved have fluctuations of his blood spirit power, and now the runes inside are Qin Yun's blood spirit power. When Granny Tang saw Bai Qiangshu's expression, she realized that Qin Yun has succeeded. Bai Qiangshu held the talisman and carefully examined it a few times. He is crying out in his heart. Someone can actually decipher his talisman, this is unbelievable. Because this is simply impossible to do. The runes inside his crystal talisman cannot be seen, it means that there is no way to decipher them. Even if Qin Yun can see them, because they are runes from the White Sun Divine World, he is not familiar with them. It will be very difficult for him to decipher them. But miraculously, not only did Qin Yun decipher them, he even replaced them with his own mysterious runes. This kind of technique is simply godly, it has reached the pinnacle of perfection. City Lord Bai, you are truly not worthy of obtaining Granny Tang's heavenly law divine rune. Qin Yun said with smile. With this level of skill, don't be a city lord, properly study in seclusion. Bai Qiangshu's eyes are wide open as he looked at Qin Yun. If he was ridiculed like this in normal times, he would definitely fly into a rage. But now he is unable to refute Qin Yun. He doesn't even have the slightest bit of temper. This little youth before him caused him to feel fear towards Divine Desolate. Are you really a little demon? Bai Qiangshu solemnly asked. Of course not, I was turned into this by my little sister. My original appearance was that of a young man. Qin Yun said with smile. Young man? Then what is the difference between you and a little demon? Bai Qiangshu is startled. In his eyes, as long as someone is not an old thing, they are all little demons. City Lord Bai, it is getting late, please go back. Qin Yun said. Wait, I still don't know who you are. You should be a big shot in Divine Desolate. Bai Qiangshu revealed smile. We are both inscription masters, it is not a bad thing to have more exchanges. I am Qin Yun. I can be considered a big shot in Divine Desolate. My cultivation is not high, but my inscription level is still pretty good. Qin Yun said. Are there many inscription masters like you in Divine Desolate? Bai Qiangshu promptly asked. I also don't know because Divine Desolate is too big and it has just been formed, Qin Yun said with faint smile. However, up until now, none of the inscription masters I have met are better than me. Alright then, I will definitely make you my friend. Bai Qiangshu laughed loudly and said. But I feel that you are not worthy to be my friend, Qin Yun said with smile. What do you mean by that? It's fate that we got to know each other. I'm from the White Sun God world, and you're from the Desolate God world. It's impossible for two God worlds of this size to merge together, but we met here and now. Don't you think it's fate? Bai Qiangshu is from White Sun Divine World. He only has white hair. His eyebrows and beard are not white and he is not dressed completely in white. Since we are friends, I want you to help me with some small matter and even accept benefits. Granny Tang said with smile. What kind of friend is this? Alright, I won't accept benefits. However, little brother Qin, you have to help me with a small matter. Bai Qiangshu said with smile. It won't be too difficult. No problem. Qin Yun said. Then I will help you deal with your matter first. I will say this in advance, you can't enter the Wang Mansion because I do not have the final say in the Wang Mansion. I am only the city lord. I am in charge of the trivial matters of White Sun Heavenly City. Bai Qiangshu said. I have a little sister in the Wang Mansion, her name is Xiao Yueme. Can you help me ask around? Qin Yun asked. What? Yueme? Bai Qiangshu cried out in alarm. She is your little sister? Did she get into some kind of trouble? Qin Yun asked immediately. No, she is the one who saved our White Sun King. Now she is his favorite person and has been conferred the title of Princess Yueme. This matter is only known by our Wang Mansion's inner circle. Bai Qiangshu exclaimed in admiration. This little girl actually came from Heavenly God Desolate and she is your little sister. How can the youngsters of your Heavenly God Desolate be so powerful? Knowing that Xiao Yueme is fine, Qin Yun immediately felt a lot more at ease. He said with smile, City Lord Bai, is she doing well in the Wang Mansion? Of course she's doing well. I only know that White Sun King is in seclusion with her, and wants to pass down some secret techniques to her. Bai Qiangshu said, Little brother Qin, when I see White Sun King next time, I will definitely mention this matter to him. Brother, is White Sun King male or female? Granny Tang asked. Female, to be honest, I have never seen her true appearance. In short, she now views Princess Yueme as her own daughter and dotes on her very much. I don't know if White Sun King recognizes Princess Yueme's older brother or not. Bai Qiangshu said. Qin Yun nodded. It doesn't matter, I just want to confirm that she is safe. Bai Qiangshu said with smile. Little brother Qin, I have already helped you and provided you with the information you want to know. Can you help me now? Chapter 2242. When Qin Yun heard about the small treasure chest, his eyes couldn't help but shine. Bai Qiangshu said with a smile, Little brother Qin, don't have any ideas about my small treasure chest. In this White Yang Heavenly City, it's best if you don't have any ideas. Brother, you actually can't open that small treasure chest. How do you know it's a small treasure chest? Don't tell me you know what's inside? Granny Tang is also very curious. That small treasure chest was bestowed to me by King White Sunday. She lost the key and was unable to open it. Since I am an inscription master, she thought that I could open it, so she gave it to me. Bai Qiangshu said. Qin Yun said, Didn't King White Sun tell you what's inside? Seriously, she gave someone a gift and it was actually locked. This is too torturous. Little brother Qin, Don't say that about King White Sunday. It's not her fault. It's mainly because I was too cocky at that time. I was very confident that I could break any seal, so she gave me that small treasure chest. Bai Qiangshu laughed self-deprecatingly. In the end, I became a laughingstock. Granny Tang could not help but laugh out loud and said, "Brother, you really love to pretend. Since you can't open it, why don't you just go find King White Sun and ask her to help you open it?" Bai Qiangshu shook his head and sighed. "She can't open it either. She only said that there's a divine universe white jade inside and it's useful to me. However, I still can't open that box." Divine universe white jade? When Qin Yun heard these words, he felt that it was definitely something similar to divine universe golden stone and divine universe amethyst. Divine universe amethyst was even rarer than divine universe golden stone, and its energy was even more powerful. And the divine universe white jade was definitely not simple. Did King White Sun say how that small treasure chest came about? Qin Yun asked. What use does the divine universe white jade have to City Lord Bai? I once suffered serious internal injuries, and my soul and body were almost destroyed. Now I've only recovered my physical body, but the injuries to my soul haven't completely healed. From time to time, my soul will feel as if it's being burned by fire. This requires the nourishment of the divine universe white jade to allow my soul to completely recover. Bai Qiangshu sighed. Soul injury? Can I take a look? Asked Qin Yun. There's no need to look, that's because of the cultivation method I cultivate. As long as I continue to cultivate that cultivation method, it's impossible to avoid my soul being burned. Bai Qiangshu said, only the divine universe white jade can help me. Granny Tang felt very puzzled and said, since there was such a precious thing inside the small treasure chest, why was White Sun Prince so careless and lost the key? Did she do it on purpose? Bai Qiangshu shook his head and said in a self-deprecating manner, I'll tell you the truth. That key is actually a talisman. That day, I tried to be brave and said in front of a group of old fellows that I could open the small treasure chest, so I destroyed the talisman myself. However, I was unable to open it in the end. Ha ha ha. Granny Tang couldn't help but laugh out loud. Then why did you say that it was White Sun Duke who lost it? You really deserve it, you reap what you sow. It turned out that Bai Qiangshu had destroyed the key to the small treasure chest, but he was unable to open the small treasure chest afterwards. This was simply too pretentious. I knew you would laugh at me, so I decided to hide it. Bai Qiangshu curled his lips. Brother, don't mind it. This is too funny, I can't help it. Granny Tang continued to laugh. It doesn't matter. It's not the first time I've been laughed at on this matter. Every time White Sun Duke sees me, he uses this matter to make fun of me. Bai Qiangshu's expression is gloomy. He looked at Qin Yun and said, Little brother Qin, I don't expect you to be able to open it. Why don't you give it a try? Qin Yun also found it rather funny. He said, Let me take a look at the small treasure chest. Bai Qiangshu immediately took out the small treasure chest. The small treasure chest is white and is a box. It is very light in the palm of his hand, it can be said to be weightless. Upon coming into contact with this material, Qin Yun recalled the chest that contained a large amount of divine universe golden stones. That was the gravity divine stone. This small white treasure chest's material was also added with gravity divine stone. This meant that the divine universe white jade inside was a very heavy material. Let me see. Granny Tang walked over and touched it with her hand. She said in surprise, so light, it doesn't have any weight at all? What material is this? She gently threw it into the air, and the small treasure chest slowly floated down. Gravity divine stone was added inside. Qin Yun said, Little brother Qin, you are truly experienced and knowledgeable. If King White Sun did not tell me personally, I wouldn't have known that it was gravity divine stone. Bai Qiangshu said in pleasant surprise. Gravity Divine Stone is very sturdy and special runes were added to it. If you forcefully break it open, it will cause the things inside to suffer severe gravitational pressure. The space inside will collapse and the things inside will fall into the tyrannical space. Qin Yun said again. Most of the things preserved in this way are very precious. It can also prevent them from falling into enemies' hands. Bai Qiangshu repeatedly nodded. His eyes are filled with shock. He said, King White's son also said the same thing, so I don't dare to forcefully break it open. Qin Yun took the small treasure chest and said again, City Lord Bai, even if you forcefully break it open, you might not be able to open it. This material is very special. The person who refined this box must be very strong. And this box was given to her by King Whitesun's father. King Whitesun's father is a very powerful inscription master in the White Sun Divine Realm. Bai Qiangshu said. Qin Yun carefully looked at the box. He feels that he can use the previous method, Nether Sun Totem Devouring method, to devour the runes inside. The reason why the box is tightly closed is mainly because the runes are operating. Because there is something like Divine Universe White Jade inside, it can provide endless and formidable energy to the runes. Therefore, the power produced by the runes is very strong and can form a sealing barrier. I can't see any runes, Granny Tang said with frown. Xiao Yun, do you have any method? This is very thorny. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud divine needle and said, I do, but I need some time. Bai Qiangshu is slightly excited, he promptly said. Little brother Qin, if you can truly help me open this box, I will greatly thank you. Someone who can open this box must have heaven-defying ability. No matter what, he is someone worth befriending. Although Bai Qiangshu is stingy, he knows how to expand his network. Qin Yun used the floating cloud divine needle and began earnestly carving Nether Sun Totem on the small treasure chest. The runes carved on the chest are also invisible. Very soon, Qin Yun entered a very serious state. His eyes are blue, heavenly eye is open. This will allow him to have even stronger control over runes when carving runes. Furthermore, heavenly eye can allow him to sense the reaction of the runes inside the small treasure chest while carving runes. This way he can avoid stimulating the original runes and cause the small treasure chest to self-destruct. Qin Yun's blood spirit power overflowed out and formed a blue-colored light. This kind of faint blue light makes Bai Qiangshu and Granny Tang feel very familiar, but they can't say where they have seen it before. Is it the same as the blue-colored light in the sky? Granny Tang said in low voice. It seems so. This little demon, what is his background? Bai Qiangshu exclaimed in admiration in low voice. This person must be a great character in Divine Desolate. He is pretending to be a little youth. Isn't this to swindle people? Truly a treacherous guy. 2 hours later, Qin Yun finally finished. After he finished, he used the 9 Sun Divine Spirit to draw out the Divine Universe Purple Sun's Divine Universe Purple energy. Then combined it with the formidable Nether Sun devouring power. He poured it into the small treasure chest and activated the Nether Sun Totem. The Nether Sun Totem needs formidable Divine Universe Purple energy to be activated to be able to devour the original sealing runes of the small treasure chest. The small treasure chest's original sealing runes are operated by absorbing the Divine Universe White Jade. Qin Yun's divine power is not enough to contend against it. It might take a very long time. After drawing out the Divine Universe Purple energy, not long after, the small treasure chest's lid loosened and issued a "ka" sound. Done. Qin Yun faintly smiled, wiped his sweat and handed over the small treasure chest to Bai Qiangshu. Bai Qiangshu is extremely excited. He immediately ran over and took the small treasure chest. After opening it, an intense white light rushed out and hit Bai Qiangshu's face. The power of the attack caused his face to turn red. Very strong. After Bai Qiangshu closed the box, he repeatedly thanked Qin Yun. He is grinning from ear to ear. Granny Tang walked over, poked Bai Qiangshu's waist and said with smile, "Old brother, you said that you would heavily thank him." Bai Qiangshu suppressed his excitement and said with smile, "Little brother Qin, you should not be lacking anything, just a few heavenly law divine runes, right? I'll give you 5, how about it?" "Alright," Qin Yun said with smile. "City Lord Bai, there seems to be quite a few divine universe white jades, can you give me one?" "A few? I didn't see it clearly just now, let me take a look." Bai Qiangshu opened the small treasure chest again. This time the light is very intense, but he is prepared and can see it clearly. There are indeed 5, they are as big as corn grains but they are pure white. Bai Qiangshu wanted to take out one but found it very heavy. He said with frown, "I can't take it out, I can't put it into storage magic tool." "Let me try." Granny Tang reached out her hand to pinch the divine universe white jade, but she really can't pick it up. Qin Yun walked over and said, "I'll do it." He released a very strong supergravity and condensed it on his finger. Then he pinched the divine universe white jade and put it into his storage magic tool. "Little brother Qin, you are truly an evil little demon," Bai Qiangshu exclaimed in admiration. "Your cultivation is clearly not high, how can you be so awesome?" Granny Tang is also very amazed. After Bai Qiangshu closed the small treasure chest, he could put it into the storage magic treasure. When he opened it, he couldn't put it in. Qin Yun said with smile, "City Lord Bai, your heavenly law divine runes should be very good, right? Isn't it too much of a loss for you to give them to me?" "It's not a loss, it's not a loss. But little brother, you must keep it a secret for me, you must not tell anyone that you opened the small treasure chest for me." Bai Qiangshu said with mischievous smile, "I was made fun of for a long time before, now I can finally hold my head high." "Old brother, you should change your bad habit," Granny Tang said with smile. Chapter 2243. Qin Yun and Granny Tang are both speechless. Bai Qiangshu is a city lord, yet he still loves to show off. "Brother, it's better if you keep a low profile. Just let them know that you can open the small treasure chest. Don't be too ostentatious, and don't let them capsize again," Granny Tang said with smile. It's fine. If I don't brag, they will look down on me." After Bai Qiangshu sat down, he crossed his legs and said, "You should all know that the most powerful force in White Sun Sky City is the Wang Mansion. Although I am the city lord, in the eyes of those old guys in the Wang Mansion, I am just an errand boy. City Lord Bai, your position in White Yang Heaven City is not high." Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. He thought that as a city lord, his position should not be so low. Bai Qiangshu drank a mouthful of tea and said, "So to speak, in the eyes of many people, I naturally have a very high position. The number of people who want to see me can line up from the Wang's Gate to the Heaven City's gate. However, I'm only at the middle level in the White Sun Mansion. The hierarchy in White Sun Mansion is very strict, and there are many guys above me. They would give me a bad look from time to time, or deliberately make things difficult for me." "Why didn't you report this to King White Yang?" Granny Tang said. "I reported it to King White Yang, and those guys were reprimanded by him. Then I offended them, and they will definitely make things difficult for me in the future." Bai Qiangshu promptly waved his hand and said, "Sometimes it is really hard to get along. There are always some vile people who rely on their little bit of power to give you attitude or make things difficult for you. Making things difficult for you is to deliberately make things difficult for you, unless you kneel down and lick their boot." Granny Tang curled her lips and said, "That's because you didn't curry favor with those people. You didn't handle your relationship well, so they will naturally make things difficult for you." Bai Qiangshu bitterly sighed and said, "Sister Tang, you don't understand. There are several factions in the Wang's mansion that don't get along with each other. I curry favor with one side, but the other side always targets me. And the people I curry favor with want to help me, but they want to take benefits from me. And I often have to do things for them. Then why am I still a fart city lord? I quit, I'll do it myself. Granny Tang said somewhat angrily. There are so many things to do as the city lord, and you have to suffer so much. What kind of bastards are those in the mansion? Why are you so despicable? They are all very strong fellows. What can I do? Bai Qiangshu said, I want to be the city lord because I can obtain the resources given by White Sun King. As long as I have those resources, I can become stronger. After becoming stronger, I won't need to look at their faces. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. He had seen such things many times. When Granny Tang saw Qin Yun smiling, she asked, Xiao Yun, what do you think? If it was me, I would directly tell White Sun King. Could it be that those fellows will kill you? If they continue to make things difficult for you, you should continue to report to White Sun King. Qin Yun said with a smile, City Lord White, if you want to curry favor with someone, you should curry favor with the strongest king, White Sunday. Who would dare make things difficult for you? Bai Qiangshu wanted to say something, but stopped himself. He sighed and said, That's what I thought before. That's why I'm planning to show off and crack that small treasure chest. This way, White Sun King will look at me in a different light, and then I'll be put in an important position by him. So, you're still going to pretend? Granny Tang snorted and said, The person who opened the small treasure chest is Xiao Yun. It's not good for you to continue lying. If you get seen through, you'll only continue to make a fool of yourself. When Bai Qiangshu heard this, he felt very conflicted. He looked at Qin Yun and asked, Little brother Qin, give me an idea. Regardless of whether it was Bai Qiangshu or Granny Tang, they both felt that Qin Yun had a better idea. Qin Yun said with a smile, Just tell them that the small treasure chest has been opened. But you don't have to say who opened it. As for the principle behind opening it, you can also explain it in a simple manner. Don't brag that you opened it yourself. Speak ambiguously and leave yourself a way out. If you're exposed in the future, just bring me out. I'll help you out. Bai Qiangshu smiled and said, Little brother Qin, I'm relieved to hear your words. How about this, you become my guest elder and help me deal with some matters regarding inscriptions. I'll give you a certain amount of compensation. All right. Qin Yun nodded. Bai Qiangshu took out 5 crystal pieces and handed them to Qin Yun. He said, These are 5 heavenly law divine runes. Little brother Qin, please accept them. I still have matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave first. We'll contact each other again. Qin Yun obtained 5 heavenly law divine runes. They are all in segments. Not a single heavenly law divine rune is complete, but each segment has a very strong power. After discussing with Granny Tang, Qin Yun also knew that the greatest use of these heavenly law divine runes is to combine with other runes. But no matter what, mastering fragments of heavenly law divine runes can increase one's understanding of heavenly law divine runes. Brother, these 5 heavenly law divine runes all have a killing intent. Granny Tang said with a frown, This kind of heavenly law divine rune is not suitable for me. They are all weapon type. Qin Yun looked at the complex runes inside the 3 crystal pieces and said, These 3 heavenly law divine runes should be saber type and the other 2 should be sword type. This kind of heavenly law divine rune is very complicated. Granny Tang said with a frown, It's very difficult to master. Even I would need a very long time to figure it out. Qin Yun felt that he could fuse these heavenly law divine runes into saber runes or sword totems. The runes that Granny Tang passed on to him before were all relatively mild. For example, wind, water, fire, light, and so on. Then there are lotus and star. Although they are only a small segment, they are very powerful and require a very long time to learn and master. Qin Yun stored the heavenly law divine runes and handed them over to Mo for her to study. Mo, this fairy, studied the incomplete heavenly law divine runes, and made a great discovery. She could make the incomplete heavenly law divine runes become complete, but it would take a very long time. Previously, with Mo's help, Qin Yun was able to repair many damaged runes, allowing the damaged runes to form a whole. These heavenly law divine runes have a very strong regenerative power. Why did they turn into segments? Qin Yun is very puzzled about this. After the heavenly law divine rune is broken, every small part will grow on its own and then transform into a human or beast. If that small part of the rune is free, it will grow and evolve into different heavenly law divine runes. Granny Tang said, "Is it that magical?" Qin Yun said in astonishment. "That's right, if it's a sword heavenly law divine rune, then there will be many different types. These are all small parts of sword heavenly law divine runes. In different environments and with other factors, they will have different growth and evolution directions," Granny Tang said. "Therefore, the same type of heavenly law divine rune can have tens of thousands of different types." Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration, "This is a very good evolution method." "That's right, just like us humans. We are also humans, but because I come from the White Sun Divine Realm, I am different from you," Granny Tang said with smile. "Our White Sun Divine Realm civilization is very different from your Divine Desolate," Qin Yun said with smile. "But we can become friends. By the way, are the people from the other god realms here friendly?" "Not too friendly. In short, they often argue but they don't dare to fight. If it gets too big, the people from the Heavenly Law Pavilion will intervene," Granny Tang said. "Heavenly Law Pavilion?" Qin Yun heard Shen Yu Tianlong mention it before. "Where is the Heavenly Law Pavilion?" Qin Yun asked. Granny Tang pointed up and said, "In the sky. Those few star rivers belong to the Heavenly Law Pavilion. I don't know the specifics. There are actually people above the star rivers of the Heavenly Law universe." "Xiao Yun, don't think too much. Your little sister is fine now, so we can be at ease," Granny Tang said with smile. "I said before that I have a secret treasure. Do you want to take a look?" "Let's take a look, Granny. You are not an outsider anyway," Qin Yun said with smile. "Let's go, follow me," Granny Tang said. "It's not on you?" Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. "It's in my daughter's hands. I hid her in the White Sun Heavenly City. I will take you to see her," Granny Tang said. "Granny, you have a daughter?" Qin Yun said with smile. "I thought you only had one son, Zhang Anxiao." "Don't mention that bastard. I would rather give birth to a piece of pork than him." Speaking of her unfilial son, Zhang Anxiao, Granny Tang is filled with anger. She said, "Luckily I gave birth to a good daughter. My life can be considered happy." Qin Yun followed Granny Tang out of the inn. It must be said that Granny Tang keeping the secret with her daughter is indeed very wise. However, Qin Yun is somewhat worried that her daughter would be discovered by Zhang Anxiao. Granny Tang's husband died early. He was killed by sea beasts. He was the original White Sun Island master. Their relationship as husband and wife was not good, so they separated early and lived their own lives. Also, after they separated, Granny Tang got together with someone else and gave birth to a daughter. Zhang Anxiao did not know that Granny Tang had a daughter. The reason why Granny Tang stayed in White Sun Island is to find an opportunity to avenge her little disciple, but she did not succeed in the end. Qin Yun and Granny Tang are sitting in the same carriage, listening to Granny Tang talk about these matters. "All these years I've been in White Sun Island, I haven't been able to avenge my disciple." Granny Tang sighed regretfully and said, "I might not have the chance in the future. That guy is the White Sun Island master. It's very difficult for me to do anything." "Granny, who gave birth to your little daughter?" Qin Yun asked. "Did she follow her father? How are your arrangements? Zhang Anxiao won't find her, right?" "I asked brother Bai Qiangshu to take care of her. I saw her before. She lived a peaceful and stable life." Granny Tang said. Her father, let's not talk about him. Qin Yun's eyes flickered. He thought of something but did not say it out loud. When Granny Tang saw Qin Yun's strange expression, she waved her hand and said, Xiao Yun, you should have guessed that my little daughter is Bai Qiangshu's child. Chapter 2244. After interacting with Qin Yun for the past few days, Granny Tang knew that this person who looked like a young man was very reliable. Furthermore, he was very secretive. Originally, Granny Tang had been very cautious about her secret treasure. She didn't want outsiders to know about it, but now she knew that Zhang Anxiao was about to arrive at White Sun Sky City. Zhang Anxiao was the White Sun Island Lord, so he definitely had some status. The other one was the vixen beside Zhang Anxiao, Ling Hui, who came from the White Sun Sky City's Fan clan. The Fan family was one of the 3 great families under the prince's mansion. At that time, if Fan Ling Hui knew about Granny Tang's secret treasure and her daughter, she would definitely use her family's power. Granny Tang didn't want to cause trouble for her old flame Bai Qiangshu, so she planned to ask Qin Yun for help when the time came. In addition, Granny Tang felt that Qin Yun was much more reliable than Bai Qiangshu. Qin Yun sat in the carriage and immediately saw through Granny Tang's thoughts. Granny, Governor Bai is your old lover and also a governor. There are some things that you should discuss with him. Qin Yun said. For example, I think he should know about your daughter. He is after all a father. Granny Tang shook her head and said, Xiao Yun, Bai Qiangshu only has sons, he doesn't have a daughter. If he suddenly has a daughter, then he will definitely treat her very well and pour all his resources into my daughter. I'm afraid that his sons will harm my daughter. Granny Tang was traumatized by the death of her little disciple. She couldn't protect her disciple, so she didn't have the confidence to protect her daughter, which was why she was so worried. What is that artifact? How did Zhang Anxiao and Fan Ling Hui know? Qin Yun doubtfully asked. Didn't you say that you didn't tell anyone? That secret treasure. Granny Tang did not continue speaking. Instead, she sent a voice transmission to Qin Yun. That secret treasure came from the Heavenly Law Pavilion. I suspect that the Heavenly Law Pavilion is looking for it. Secret treasure of Heavenly Law Pavilion? Qin Yun is even more puzzled. He asked, Zhang Anxiao and Fan Ling Hui are from Heavenly Law Pavilion? Are they looking for that artifact? I suspect that the Heavenly Law Pavilion is behind them. Of course, it was impossible for them to enter the Heaven Law Pavilion, but they might have been entrusted by the Heaven Law Pavilion. Zhang Anxiao is my son, I watched him grow up, I know his capabilities very well, but he suddenly became so strong, this is very strange. Granny Tang said. Zhang Anxiao and Fan Ling Hui were not weak, and they had a lot of power in White Sun Island. When Qin Yun heard what Granny Tang said, he also felt that Zhang Anxiao was very likely a lackey of the Heaven Law Pavilion. I don't know what that secret treasure is. I only know that it's very powerful and very important to the Heaven Law Pavilion, Granny Tang said in a low voice. Since the secret treasure is in your daughter's hand, Zhang Anxiao has a probing tool in his hand. He shouldn't be able to find you. Qin Yun said. They don't have any detection equipment. I suspect that they used some secret technique to deduce that the secret treasure is in my hands. Because I killed a fellow from the Heaven Law Pavilion and snatched the secret treasure. Granny Tang transmitted her voice. Qin Yun revealed a look of astonishment as he hurriedly asked, The fellow from the Heaven Law Pavilion was killed by you? Were they really that easy to kill? At that time, it was a fight between 2 guys. Both of them were seriously injured in order to snatch that secret treasure. I killed one, and the one who survived was seriously injured. I fought with half my life to kill that guy. Granny Tang said, I didn't want to fight, I just watched from a distance. That's right. After that bastard was injured, he wanted to capture me and devour me, so he rushed over to kill me. Qin Yun nodded. He suddenly became even more interested in the secret treasure. Something that two experts from the Heaven Law Pavilion fought over, it must be very important. When did this happen? Qin Yun asked. It's been many years. My daughter has not been born yet. Granny Tang shook her head. I still don't know what that thing is, I only know that it's very powerful. Not long after, Granny Tang and Qin Yun's car stopped outside a residential area near Wangfu. There are many small houses here. Qin Yun and Granny Tang got off the car and walked inside. They arrived at the east side. There is a small river there. There are several small buildings by the river, one of them is painted red. It is completely out of place with the other white buildings. Granny, is that red building your daughter's? Qin Yun cannot help but ask. It's hers, she painted it herself. Granny Tang said with a speechless expression. We White Sun Divine Realm people naturally like white, but that girl is different, she likes red very much. She even dyed her hair red, it's like she's a freak. Granny Tang and Bai Qiangshu both have the bloodline of the White Sun Divine Realm, but their daughter likes red. This is very abnormal. Qin Yun previously learned that the people of the White Sun Divine Realm like white, not because they follow the crowd but because they like it innately. Only a few people are normal, their hair is black and most of them have white hair and white eyebrows. Qin Yun thought of something but he is not sure, so he did not say it to Granny Tang. Instead, he followed her to the red building. There is a small courtyard in the building, the door to the courtyard is not closed. After Granny Tang entered, she lightly shouted, "Girl!" When he came, Qin Yun also learned that Granny Tang's daughter's name is Bai, her name is Bai Jinghong. The inside of the red building suddenly trembled, followed by a loud explosion. With the explosion, the door was directly blown away. What's going on? Qin Yun immediately became vigilant. He released his formidable mental power and at the same time opened his heavenly eye to check the situation inside the building. This damned girl is messing around again. Granny Tang cursed in a low voice and then walked in. Qin Yun said with a frown, "Granny, there might be danger inside." Granny Tang waved her hand and said, "There's no danger, that damned girl is messing with her damned thing." After Qin Yun followed her in, he smelled a very strong fragrance. The fragrance is very fragrant but it also carries a faint poison. "Poison," Qin Yun said in low voice. "I know." Granny Tang nodded and said, "Xiao Yun, this bit of poison shouldn't be enough to knock you down, right?" After entering, the small hall was blown into a mess. A faint red mist floated in the air. Soon after, a graceful oval-faced woman walked out. Her face is filled with hidden bitterness. She puffed up her fragrant cheeks and said in a low voice, "I failed again." This woman has a pair of red braids hanging in front of her chest. She is wearing a pointy hat on her head. Her beautiful eyes are filled with sadness. "Mother, I failed again, I want to cry." Bai Qinghong's eyes are moist. She threw herself into Granny Tang's embrace. Don't cry, if you fail, you can try again." Originally, Granny Tang was also full of anger, but seeing her daughter so sad, she could only comfort her. But not long after, Granny Tang sternly reprimanded, "Damned girl, what are you doing? Every time I come, your house is always blown into a mess." "Mother, I just failed, I am very sad, don't scold me," Bai Qinghong said in low voice. After she saw the handsome young boy Qin Yun, her beautiful eyes lit up. She quickly jumped over, pinched Qin Yun's face and said with charming smile, "Mother, is this your illegitimate child? Such a cute, handsome young boy." "Damned girl, don't act recklessly. He is not my illegitimate child." Granny Tang promptly slapped Bai Qinghong's hand away and said in a bad mood, "Not your illegitimate child? Then who is it? Could it be?" Bai Qinghong suddenly became excited and said, "Mother, you found me a little husband, right? Very good. I like him very much. Go away." Granny Tang saw Bai Qinghong's hands and feet moving. She promptly slapped her hand away and reprimanded, Damned girl, this is a great character, he is. He is a very awesome inscription master, his level is above mine. Bai Qinghong's fingers curled around her braids, she looked at Qin Yun and said with charming smile, Mother, I am not a child, don't try to trick me. He is just a profound god, moreover he is a little boy, how can his level be above yours? Really, even City Master Bai is very respectful towards him. Granny Tang said with frown, Girl, quickly call him Senior Qin. City Master Bai? My dead old man father is not as good as this little boy? Mother, your joke is not funny at all. Bai Qinghong mischievously jumped behind Qin Yun, then extended her hand to rub Qin Yun's face from behind. Qin Yun really did not expect that he would meet someone who has the same hobby of rubbing face as him. However, the one suffering is him. You know that Bai Qiangshu is your father? Granny Tang said in amazement. I am not stupid, how can I not see it? Bai Qinghong mischievously smiled and said, My dead old man father is quite good to me. Granny Tang is very speechless, she really did not expect that this little girl would be so crafty. Sister Qinghong, your red hair is very beautiful. I am Qin Yun, you can call me Xiao Yun. Qin Yun said with smile. Granny Tang secretly despised Qin Yun in her heart. He is clearly an old guy but he is pretending to be young. Great minds think alike. I also think that my red hair is very beautiful but my mother and that dead old man father said that I am neither fish nor fowl. Bai Qinghong seems to have found a bosom friend, she giggled and said, Xiao Yun, are you really some kind of inscription master? Qin Yun said, Sister Qinghong, what are you fiddling with? You look very awesome. Elder sister, I am learning a kind of magic, I just made a magic potion, if I can master it, it will be very awesome. I also know magic formation, I will teach you some other day. Bai Qinghong said. Little girl, where is the secret treasure I gave you? Take it out and let Xiao Yun take a look. He is an expert. Granny Tang said. Bai Qinghong let out an oh sound and took out a box. After opening the box, there is a red stone inside, it is emitting red light. It looked like a red stone, but upon closer inspection, one would realize that it was actually formed from a red liquid. Bloodline. Qin Yun said with frown, This is a kind of bloodline. Xiao Yun, you are right, this is indeed a kind of bloodline. Bai Qinghong giggled and said, I already knew this secret. Chapter 2245. When Qin Yun heard the word magic, he felt that it is very familiar. He remembered that he once stayed in a heaven domain where magic prevailed. The so-called magic is actually the control of the power of heaven and earth. Is this the secret treasure of Heaven Law Pavilion? Qin Yun looked at the red ball and said, Magic bloodline? What will happen after fusing? Granny Tang is very surprised and asked, Girl, what the hell is this magic? It can make you so strong? Yes, I am very strong now. Bai Qinghong chanted an incantation, waved her hand and shot out a fireball. She shouted, This is fireball technique, the fireball is very small, it is completely red and flew towards Granny Tang. Granny Tang promptly waved her hand, wanting to open the fireball. What she did not expect is that after the fireball exploded, the flame adhered to her palm and started burning fiercely. What the hell is this? It's so hot. Quickly get rid of it. Granny Tang shouted. Now you know how awesome it is. Bai Qinghong laughed and quickly took back the flame. Qin Yun used Heavenly Eye to look at the flame just now and discovered that there is a special red energy inside the flame. That is why the flame adhered to Granny Tang's palm and started burning fiercely. This red energy should be the power of the so-called magic bloodline. Sister Qinghong, how did you fuse with this magic bloodline? After fusing, did your body get stronger? Qin Yun asked. He is not very interested in this magic. He just wants to know if this magic bloodline can make people's bodies stronger or not, like those powerful ancient race bloodlines. I just took a little bit and ate it. I only ate a little bit and obtained a magic inheritance. My mind suddenly became filled with many magic-related inheritances. Bai Qinghong said. Xiao Yun, don't believe this girl, don't randomly eat it. Granny Tang hastily said. It's okay, I'm just trying, there won't be any problem. Qin Yun carefully took out a small part, it is the size of a thumb. He can take it out with mental power. This seems to be a very special blood spirit power. Qin Yun sniffed, there is no smell of blood. Quickly try it. Bai Qinghong urged. If you can awaken the magic bloodline, I won't be lonely anymore, ha ha ha. After Qin Yun ate it, he immediately felt two types of energy rush into his body and soul. One of the energies rushed towards his soul, but it was unable to fuse with his soul. In the end, it could only flow within his body. Not long after, Qin Yun felt a burning pain in his body. It is not very uncomfortable, he can completely endure it. How do you feel? Do you feel like fireworks are going off in your head? Bai Qinghong can see that Qin Yun's handsome face is very good looking when he is serious. She can't help but reach out her hand to touch it. Qin Yun shook his head and said, No, I didn't obtain any magic inheritance, but my body has changed. His physical body was becoming stronger. Qin Yun was secretly alarmed. The magic bloodline was the same as the bloodlines of those powerful races. It could strengthen a person's body greatly. Then you should be able to obtain a magic body, which means that other people's magic won't have much effect on you. Bai Qinghong said, I'll try to burn you later. If I can't burn you, it means that magic is useless against you. Can anyone have a magic body? Qin Yun asked. Not really. Anyway, I can awaken a magic body and magic inheritance. Bai Qinghong said, According to the inherited memories I obtained, many people can only awaken the ability to sense magic elements at most. Granny Tang said with some disappointment, This secret treasure only has this little ability? What kind of mess is this? What kind of magic is this? Mother, didn't you see my fireball technique just now? That's magic, it's very powerful. Bai Qinghong muttered. If I could master concocting magic potions or magic formations, I would be even stronger. Does that damn father of yours know about this? Granny Tang asked. He doesn't know. Bai Qinghong curled her lips and said, Mother, why is that damn father of mine so stingy? I asked him for some white sun divine crystals, but he refused to give them to me. Give me some, I've spent them all. It's all been spent so quickly? Granny Tang shook her head again and again. She could only take out a storage bag and hand it to Bai Qinghong. She said, Use it sparingly. My father is the city lord. If I acknowledge him, he definitely won't acknowledge me. He's so stingy, he's afraid that he'll have to compensate me. Bai Qinghong sighed and said, A child without a father truly has a bitter life. Granny Tang thought carefully and said, Girl, do you want to acknowledge that damn old man as your father? If he can give me a sum of wealth, I still want to acknowledge him. Bai Qinghong said in a low voice, I'm very lacking in white sun divine crystals right now. Damned girl who has eyes for wealth. Alright, I'll go talk to him. You guys wait here and don't run around. Granny Tang sighed helplessly and could only go find Bai Qiangshu. Qin Yun doesn't need that secret treasure anymore. That magic bloodline is very special. After fusing with a bit, it will be enough. He returned the rest to Bai Qinghong. After Granny Tang left, Bai Qinghong caressed Qin Yun's handsome face and said with a smile, Xiao Yun, how do you feel now? Not bad. Qin Yun said, I should be considered to have fused with that magic bloodline. Alright, I'll give it a try. Bai Qinghong released a fireball towards Qin Yun. The red fireball hit Qin Yun's body and burst into a ball of flame. That ball of flame enveloped Qin Yun. Bai Qinghong screamed in alarm, but in the blink of an eye, the flame crazily penetrated into Qin Yun's body. Qin Yun stood in place and said, "What happened? I didn't do anything." He only felt that the magic flame entered his body and was absorbed by his body and transformed into energy. Magic body is indeed immune to magic. If you meet powerful magicians in the future, you won't have to be afraid of them. Bai Qinghong felt a lot more at ease and said with smile, "Xiao Yun, there are very powerful magicians in the Heaven Law universe. They definitely can't do anything to you." "There are other magicians here? Have you seen them?" Qin Yun asked. "I have, they are in the city. They are from the Heaven Law Pavilion. There is a devil court inside the Heaven Law Pavilion. Their magic bloodline is very important. My mother obtained it by chance and they are looking for it everywhere." Bai Qinghong giggled and said, "Sister Qinghong, you know everything." Qin Yun grinned. "Why don't you tell your mother?" "My mother, she is too stupid. Moreover, her ability to accept new things is very low. It is still young people like you who are easy to communicate with." Bai Qinghong suddenly pulled Qin Yun's hand and said with smile, "Come, big sister will take you out for a walk. I will also buy some materials to concoct magic medicine. Granny told us not to wander around." Qin Yun said, "What are you afraid of? We are in the White Yang Heaven City. Who dares to bully us? If this matter gets out of hand, my dead old man father will come out to take responsibility. He is the city master of the White Yang Heaven City." Bai Qinghong is a bit proud when talking about her father. Alright. Qin Yun also did not expect that Granny Tang's daughter would be so mischievous. Bai Qinghong brought Qin Yun out of the residential area and walked on the street. She has a head full of red hair that is tied into a pair of red braids. She is wearing a red dress and her beautiful oval face is filled with lively sunshine. She is a beauty filled with youthful vigor. Compared to the majority of women, she is rather unique. Therefore, she is especially eye-catching on the street. Qin Yun doesn't mind at all. He followed Bai Qinghong to a tall building. This place sells all kinds of medicinal ingredients. It is also a business of the Wang Mansion. After arriving, Bai Qinghong promptly took out a piece of paper with the medicinal ingredients she wants written on it. Originally, she was very happy, but now she was told that the price has increased. "Shopkeeper, yesterday I didn't raise the price. Why did it double today?" Bai Qinghong said very anxiously. "Can you lower it a bit? Sell it to me at yesterday's price." "This is the price, do you want to buy it or not?" The middle-aged shopkeeper said impatiently. I'll buy it." Although Bai Qinghong is very unhappy, she still gritted her teeth and bought it. She wants a lot of medicinal ingredients and the amount is also very large. Although the shopkeeper did not leave a single bit, Bai Qinghong is after all doing big business, so he arranged for someone to bring her to a VIP lounge inside to wait. Qin Yun and Bai Qinghong are in the VIP lounge, patiently waiting for them to deliver the batch of medicinal ingredient. Not long after, a young man came in. This young man has a head of very long and elegant white hair. His appearance is also passable and the white clothes he is wearing look very luxurious. There are even some white gems hanging on his body, and he is holding a sword in a white scabbard in his hand. He has the air of a noble descendant of an aristocratic family. "It's you, blind Bai," Bai Qinghong said unhappily when she saw the man. "I am Bai Xia, the hero of chivalry, the hero of chivalry." "You red-headed woman, why don't you have a good memory?" Bai Xia coldly snorted. "What are you doing here?" "I'm here to buy something, can't I?" Bai Qinghong glared at Bai Xia fiercely and shouted, "You still owe me 10,000 white sun divine crystals, you blind Bai." Bai Xia said angrily, "I owe you 10,000 white sun divine crystals? It's clearly you who owes me." "Bullshit, you lost the bet, you owe me," Bai Qinghong said. "You cheated and caused me to lose. I was the one who won." Bai Xia placed his hand on the hilt of his sword and said with a sneer, "Red-headed woman, let me catch you here today. I'll teach you a lesson. This pharmacy is very big. It's the Wang Mansion's pharmacy. You dare to make a move here?" Bai Qinghong's face is filled with no fear. "Red-headed woman, you don't know this young master's background, right? Let me tell you, I am the third son of the city lord. I am in charge of supervising the shops of the Wang Mansion on this street. Do you think I would dare to make a move?" Bai Xia said. "What? You are Bai Qiangshu's son?" Bai Qinghong is startled. She had inquired about Bai Xia, but she did not know that he was Bai Qiangshu's son. This meant that he was her brother. "I am his youngest son. I am a low-key person, so very few people know about this. It's fine to tell you today." Bai Xia laughed loudly. "Red-headed woman, if you repay my debt, I'll let you go this time." At this time, the shopkeeper hurriedly walked in. Seeing that Bai Xia and Bai Qinghong were arguing, he hurriedly said, "Young Master Bai, she is a big customer. Don't sell it to her." Bai Xia said, "Yes, sir." The shopkeeper is also afraid of Bai Xia. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.